Hello all, welcome back to Dragon Warriors, and God, my hair is all over the place today. Um, so this is our second sort of mop-up session for the Gallows wood. They already retrieved the Elven crystal from the evil hobgoblin that had been terrorising the local village/town of Erewhon, but there was a lot of stuff left in the woods for them to deal with that didn't get dealt with. So before they set off to confront Duke Darian, who is apparently an evil sod who currently has a sort of reign of terror over the area, the idea is to sort of undermine his control over the area and grab whatever they can from the woods before that confrontation. So Jack, who plays Sir Alain, isn't here today, so we shall say that Sir Alain has taken to his bed with a fever due to exposure to some mushroom spores or something. So I think it goes nobility, then clergy. So
It's just not barbarian.
so who's the next in command? That would be the
Yeah, Brother Rabbis.
yeah. But I'm sure we'll figure out what we're doing from there. So, yeah, been a couple of days resting up again. And unfortunately, Sir Alain has fallen ill. But there are things left to deal with within the woods. And the villagers have been regaling you with their stories about what supposedly lies within the woods. You dealt with the monastery that was overrun by undead monks and retrieved a chalice from within, which seems to have some manner of holy power to it. There's the Black Tower, the ruined tower that you saw jutting out of the woods. There's a layer of harpies that prey on people moving through the woods. There's an old ruined Celentine Empire villa deep in the forest, which supposedly is home to things and stuff. And there was a great sorceress who supposedly has her grave somewhere in the woods, and the area around that is poisoned. So dealing with whatever's there might restore some more health and life to the forest. So Clothilda seems mostly recovered, and she's serving you breakfast and small beer. There's bread cooking, actual bread that doesn't smell disgusting and off. And the whole town is just generally feeling a lot better and lighter for the most part. And the people you rescued have settled into the village life quite rapidly. So it's down to you. Where do you want to go next?
Who's in charge?
Good question.
I nominate Brother Rabbis.
Is there a herbalist at all, or I wouldn't imagine to be an apothecary around, but someone who might be able to have some sort of remedy against poison that might be available?
You can probably get a purgative or something from one of the local wise women that could help against poison.
Okay. Probably something that works on livestock. Hopefully it'll work on us. I'll go on and sell as many as I can of those, and if there's more than a few, I'll distribute them.
Yeah. So, yeah, it gives you a few sort of clay jars of tinctures against poison.
Quick question, James. Will we be rested enough for me to go back up to my full hit points or not?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to check I'm not on 7.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I know Grim's cruel, but he's not that cruel.
Well, if we reckon that Keradan's still around, just studying stuff, she can always cast heal spells on people between adventures. So.
Did we determine what this chalice does?
It seems to fill itself with water each morning.
Holy water.
So it would seem.
That could be useful against undead, I think.
Yeah, perhaps you should flask some of that off, Brother Abbess.
I reckon it should stay in the chalice. If you're going to use it, it would be more holy in the chalice rather than a hip flask or a flask.
I imagine so, yes.
Well, if
Yeah.
we've got a couple of days, does it show up as enchanted, or is it some sort of energy?
Holy power is something different.
So we couldn't tell if it retained its potency if it was in a flask after the fact.
Well, you'd only really be able to tell it's not magic exactly. It has a faint magical aura, but that could just be because it's produced magically. But the only way to really tell would be to pour it on some undead.
Or chuck it in the Baron's face.
Not that I believe in that mumbo jumbo anyway, of course, but
No, that's what the spear's for.
exactly.
Drive it through his cold, dead heart. Right, my friends. So where shall we venture to next? The tower, the sorceress's grave, or the villa?
I would say Harpy's Villa Tower.
Oh, I forgot about the harpies story. Yes.
Yeah, Harpy's first. Get some experience from that. And then we would. Is the Harpies en route towards the villa, Jim?
Sorry, what?
Is the Harpies en route to the villa?
It can be.
Okay, Harpies, Villa, then go and get the tower done, then do the sorcerer's grave, and then face his mighty sword, whatever his name is.
Yes.
There we
By
go.
the way, if we're going to fight harpies, they fly, don't they? How many of you have got any missile
Yeah, I'm
weapons?
just thinking the same. I have a bow and 6 magical arrows.
I don't know if I've got any new crossbow bolts, Jim.
You used
Two.
4, I
haven't been using
think,
the bolt.
but you can
I used
replenish. You can replenish them, so it's not a
Right.
problem.
So back up. I'm socked up.
Do you have a bow, Madrook?
I don't think so. I was told I had a couple of spare daggers last week.
Yeah.
However, if there's a spear available, grounding that against a diving attack might be a useful thing.
Yeah, I've got some javelins, but not a war spear.
Well, if a harpy comes flying down at you, you can always like hoist it up rather than chuck it. You can always like penetrate, you know. You can always do the busting action.
Yeah,
Yeah.
grounding it so it impales. That's what I'm thinking.
Do we know how many harpies there are, Jim?
No, a flock is all the villagers say.
Well, I think I've got a feeling that we've been in and out of the woods for about a week. I think they're going to find us pretty soon.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we'll be hungry.
I think the collective term might be a filth of harpies. I'm not sure.
Probably.
They're not good.
How about harem? There you go, harem of
Ooh.
harpies.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, it depends which version of harpies they are, I suppose,
Oh, harpies! I thought you said herpes. My bad.
and whether you're into cloacas or not.
Oh.
Well, if I can't get a proper spear from somewhere in the village, could I cobble one together using a dagger and
Yeah, you could improvise a spear or a hay fork or
oh, that'll do.
I
Yes.
could lend him my bow, and I have my magical spear.
true.
I could lend him my bow and arrows.
Yep.
If you wish.
Well, if you're a better shot than me, then you'd be better off with that. Combat's not really my thing.
I've not had much luck with a spear yet, really, other than one hit.
That just makes it perfect.
Okay, I'll take the bow as well then, if that's all right.
Yep.
whichever you're happier with.
So long as you all know what you've got, it's all good.
Um,
Do you want me to give you the stats for the bow and arrows?
okay, cool.
The bow's D6/D8.
Of course, it's new edition, isn't it?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, and optional rules.
yeah.
Really, the sorcerer's here.
Yay!
Better late than dead.
Hey, how y'all doing?
All right, yourself.
All right.
Can't hear. Let's see. Oh, it attached to my headset. Give me a sec.
You truck gaming. That's dedication for you.
Yeah.
Right, and the arrows, there's 6 of them. The magic and the +1 attack, bypass, and damage.
Nice.
Yeah. I like to tactic Madrock of standing just behind me in the last fight.
There we go.
Best place. Have you seen your
Sorry.
picture?
I forgot I had my Bluetooth in my head.
Ever seen my sword?
Not what he was looking at. Excellent.
Yeah, I think Jack's still asleep or something.
Oh, y'all hadn't started yet.
No, well, kind of have.
Kind of.
We're discussing what you know.
I was asleep till noon, and then my mom's like, "Hey, I need you to come over to my house real quick and take the stump, take pieces of the stump off." And all right, I'll come over there. So she had some new growth happening, and she wanted to stop them. So I went over and I axed out some of the root or some of the new growths that were coming out of the root.
Cool.
And so then I then I start logging in, and I'm like, "Why am I not getting sound? Oh crap! I got Bluetooth headsets in my pocket." So it connected to my Bluetooth.
All right. Well,
my Bluetooth?
Well, be safe, and I'll roll for you. So yeah, we're doing a sort of second session of mopping up the stuff in the woods. So I think you
All
settled
right, what
on.
did y'all do last time?
Last time they cleared out a monastery of undead and retrieved a holy chalice.
All right.
So, and this time looks like you're starting with the harpies, doesn't it? There's allegedly a nest of harpies in the woods. So. Is
By
that
the
what?
legend, the men are screwed. No.
Or worse.
Or thrown off a cliff, yeah, and then eaten. Yeah.
It's your own fault for being so delicious.
And male.
Yeah. All right. So if we're settled on dealing with the harpies first, then right, you swap your gear around, kit up, and head out to the woods in the sort of mid-morning. The transformation of the forest has continued. It's still slightly oppressive and odd and weird. You know, the trees are still twisted. There's a lot more mushrooms than any other growth, but a few more normal flowers, you know, forest primroses, those sorts of things have started to grow up here and there, and more light and air is making its way through the trees, which makes it a lot nicer. Following what the townspeople have said, you follow some sort of more obscure side trails, though you're finding it easier to find your way through the woods as well, and there's a lot less mist. But you start to smell a horrible ammonia reek, and here and there, occasionally, amongst the trees, you see broken skeletons, as if they've been dropped from a great height onto the hard-packed earth.
Well, bow ready, watch the skies.
Yeah, you can occasionally see little patches of sky, and you think you see a bird, or it could be a harpy. They're just so far off, it's hard to tell. But the smell is definitely getting stronger.
Who's taking point, by the way? My taking point.
Probably you and me, isn't it?
It's traditionally your jobs. What are your stealth scores?
23.
And
Mine is 15. It's gone up.
yeah.
I have a mighty 6 health now.
Okay. So yeah, you two steal ahead of the rest of the party, moving off the track, trying to avoid dry twigs and so on as much as you can, sort of moving from root to root, stump to stump, as you get closer. And the smell is just eye-watering now. It's like a chicken coop that hasn't been cleaned out in God knows how long. There's quite a lot of vermin around as well, maggots, rats, mice, sort of scurrying around to and fro. And most of the undergrowth now seems to be dying off, blackened and browned. As you draw ever closer, there's a slight clearing, but then in the middle of the clearing, there's like 4 or 5 tall trees, less twisted than the ones around them, but they're all sort of bent inwards on each other. Their branches lashed together with what looks like rope.
So it looks like a makeshift nest then.
You do hear a loud shrieking alarm sound, like a buzzard or a hawk shrieking, and it's echoed various other places around the trees.
Do we see where it's coming from?
You see a couple of brief flashes across the sky, and then the foliage at the top of the trees sort of rattles, and leaves and bits of twig and stuff fall down.
I'll try and stay close to a tree trunk so there's cover from a diving attack, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
How far away is it, James?
So you've managed to make it all the way up to the edge of the clearing, and then it's about 5-6 meters across this sort of blasted, stinking ground to reach the bottom of the trees.
So the screeching was it in the air, or was it within the
It was
foliage?
up above.
Right. Okay. I'll stick my back to a tree, cock my crossbow, and get it all ready.
Okay.
We're here to assess numbers, aren't we? And report back rather than initiate.
Rather than necessarily take them on, yeah.
So, what was the screeching all of a sudden because one of us stood on a twig, or was it? Is it general noise that we only realised once we got closer?
You thought you heard birds before, and possibly some of them were these, but the screeching was abrupt. You got the feeling it's because of you. You must have been spotted.
Sure. You noisy bugger.
You can talk. Learn from the master. Maybe it was screeching to say it's dinner time.
Yeah. Well, don't have your head in the clouds now. We'll get bitten off.
Okay.
So bow half cocked and scan, try and get a idea on numbers.
Yeah. What's your perceptions, both of you?
9 for me.
12 for me.
Okay. There is flapping, and like the leaves of the trees behind you are rustling, like something big is moving through them.
Oh, snot. Turn and aim.
Okay. Right. It's coming in from behind Madrock rather than Caesora, so Caesora's kind of looking in the wrong direction. But you are prepared. So yeah, all of a sudden, out of the upper branches of a tree, a harpy comes springing. It's got short wings, very sharp talons, ragged, knotted, greasy hair, sharp teeth. As she shrieks and sort of swoops down out of the branch towards you. but you can react because you're ready. So
Okay. And these were enchanted arrows, weren't they? So it's,
yeah, I think they're +1.
yeah, so that gives me a total of 13 before any modifiers for range, speed, size, that sort of gubbins.
Yeah, I need to start remembering to use the proper ranged combat rules. Missile combat. Yeah, short range because he's charging in on you, so no adjustment. So did you hit?
Bang on 13. So if
Okay.
there's any modifier at all, I've missed.
No, so you hit.
Nice. Okay.
Right, so roll for armor penetration.
That was D6 plus 1. So 4.
Okay, and roll damage.
8. Oh, crap. 2 in total.
2 damage. Okay, right. So you literally wing her. It keeps the arrow passes through the feathers and the thin skin, and she carries on and slams into you. What's your defense?
6, I think.
6.
So I won't have the sword mod because I'm.
Because you got the bow. Yeah.
Yeah. So. No, 5. Sorry.
5. Okay. Right. You duck just in time, and her talons rip into the bark of the tree you were hiding against. So this is just kind of above you, tearing and ripping into the tree. So now we're on normal actions. Sizora, you hear this shriek and see the sort of flutter of wings coming from where Madrock's hiding.
Right. Turn round, and since I've already got my crossbow already cocked,
Yeah.
do I actually see anything to shoot at?
You're seeing at the moment. All you're seeing is occasional flashes of wing around the tree, and hearing Madrock sort of yelling as he tries to keep out of the way.
My dad married your sister.
Right. If I take a turn to aim, would it be possible to actually get a shot out? If I take a turn, let everyone else do their action and do my action last. Would I get a chance to aim?
If you want to aim until next turn, then you have more chance of hitting the flashes of wing that are sticking out. So
I'll do that. Then. I'm doing
Okay.
passing it on.
right. Elaine tosses and turns in his sleep back in the town. Just a sec, I have to look something up.
We slept. We left him sleeping at camp.
Yeah, back in the town.
Looking for an oil can to us.
Use magic mushrooms again.
Right, so Becca's turn. Your scouts had returned, but you hear yelling and shouting and the shrieking of harpies.
Oh dear, let's go. To arms. I draw sword and rush off.
Okay. So you unsheath your enormous blade and charge forward, arriving at the edge of the clearing. Okay. More of the harpies swoop down out of the air. They can't really have more than one of them attack any of you at a time. So, yeah, they're just kind of wheeling around, twisting and twisting around the trees in the center. One swoops down at Sizora. What's Sizora's defense?
10.
10. Okay, just flashes past you, claws nearly catching you, but not quite. The one attacking Madrock continues to try and claw at him. Defense was 5, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, still not landing a blow.
Nice.
And Becca's just charged out, so one of them swoops down towards Becca. Becca's defense?
my defence is on page 14.
14.
His defense was that she looked 16.
Completely fast heat. Hang on a sec. I'll be right back. I've just got to sort out something at home, so be right back. Sorry about that. My mum lives just over the way, and she's not coping particularly well with the shutdown. So if I don't answer immediately when she texts, it's a whole thing.
She thinks you're dead.
Yeah, I take Mr. T's advice very seriously when it comes to my mum. So.
What's that? Drink your milk and tea with it.
Be good to your mother. Right, so we were in the midst of a harpy attack before all that. So Madrox, go. So you've still got this crone-like bird fiend.
Yeah. Regretfully cast aside the bow and
give it a slap.
That's the idea, yes.
Okay.
Can I draw that fast?
I'll say that you can in this situation.
Nice. There's well, can you mute it, please? Whatever the... Apparently not.
Okay.
15. Nah, even with bonus. That's a
okay.
miss.
So there's just claws and feathers all over the place. Yeah, right in your face. So you can't really land a solid blow. Right. Caradon, if you're busy washing up or whatever it is you're doing.
All right. So, describe the scene a little bit.
So
There's how many birds?
Hard to tell. Maybe half a dozen. But you're still back a bit from where the battle's taking place. Becca just took off.
Move forward.
Yeah, carefully.
Yeah, take off to follow with drawing sword.
Yep. Okay.
And see if I can get a better view of what's going on. And if I get close to one, then I'll swing.
Okay. So you kind of move up somewhat more cautiously, taking cover behind a tree with your sword drawn and looking round. Yeah, you reckon there's 6 of these things flying around, but they're so big and flappy, it seems that they can only sort of engage any of you one-on-one, which is good news for you.
Okay. But none within range right now, right?
Well, you've used your actions getting there.
Oh, do I have? Yeah. Okay. Then yeah, we're good.
Okay. So, Brother Abbas, then.
I'll go charging at one that I can see with my spear.
Okay. Given that the spear's got reach, you can go for the one. You can get close enough to jab at the one that's attacking Becca if you want.
Okay. Now, what's its defense?
Its defense is.
All right, now I can go one way.
Its defense is only 4.
Only what? Sorry, James.
4. Lack of arms.
Okay. Under 9, I need to
One
roll.
of the things I went over there. Mom killed a cow, so I went to pick up some meat.
So, what did you get?
18, so miss.
So that's thoroughly a miss. Okay, but it does sort of flat back out of the way, giving Becca enough room to do a proper swing. So that's something. Right. So new turn. Sizora, you've been aiming. So if you want to shoot at the one that's harassing Madrock, it's only -3 from your attack.
Okie doke. I'll do that one. Most preferably aiming at a fleshy part rather than a armoured part.
Yeah.
Which that'd be the chest area.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Here we go. 3.
So that's a hit. Roll to bypass armor.
That is 9.
It's
On
D10.
the
Yeah, it's
9. Oh, sorry, my bad. I was looking at my short sword. My bad.
Okay.
Okay. Well, a D10, 7.
Okay, and roll damage.
6.
Okay. With the two of them locked in combat, it is showing more of itself around the side of the tree. So you pick your moment and fire. The bolt strikes deep into its wizened chest, and it drops to the ground of the forest, flapping around in a rather disgusting way, clawing at the air, unable to reach with either its mouth or its claws to pull the bolt out, and soon lies still.
Sweet.
Elaine has flashbacks to the Crusades in his feverish sleep.
I told them we shouldn't take these magic mushrooms.
Right, Becca's go.
Okay, well, Becca is quite a big lass as well. She's got a big sword, so you can slash and hack at this creature as it's in the air.
Yep, it's right in front of you. So its defense is 4. Take that way.
12. That's a hit.
Yeah.
Does it have a horny hide, this thing?
It does, but I think with your bonuses, you're just going to cleave straight through that. So just roll damage.
9 hits, slicing bone and feather.
Yeah. Right, so yeah, it's kind of recoiling from the ineffectual stabs of the spear, but that opens it up enough, and you just sort of knock it out of the air down onto the ground, so stamp your booted foot on one of its claws, and then give it a second hack to finish it off. Right.
Kill steal.
There's
Yeah.
4 left now.
Another one from the circling horde swoops down and tries to grab hold of you. What's your defense again?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, what have I just used it in?
No, because you haven't been attacked,
no.
so you still got your full defense.
Oh yeah, 14. Phew.
It grabs straight onto you with a critical hit.
Oh.
So, straight through armor. And 2d8 damage. Take 8 wounds.
Ouch.
Yeah. What's your strength?
15.
Okay. Roll a d20 and tell me what you get.
9.
So that beats 15 by 6. That one beats its strength by 10. Okay, you're lifted up off the ground with its claws stuck through your flesh into you. And it lifts you about 5 meters up. Which
That's
is remarkable
impressive.
given how big you are and how much armor you're wearing, but still.
That's gonna hurt.
That is scary.
Yeah. So that was 1 harpy.
5 meters.
Yeah.
I'm having a flashback of Jason in the Argonauts run.
Okay. So Caesura, one of them, swoops past you and tries to grasp you with its claws. What's your defense?
10.
Okay, it just swoops past, parts your hair slightly, and that's about it. So, yeah, the last one that's visible at the moment just continues to circle, looking for an opening. Right.
So if I'm guessing correctly, there's 4 still out there and 2 already down. Yep.
It's 1, 2. There's 3 still visible, and 3 have gone down. So.
And one of the ones that's alive has him 17 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Nice.
Madrock's turn.
If I'm in the clear,
Yep.
can I gather up the bow and aim very carefully at the one taking it's a B word.
Becca.
The barbarian, I can't remember.
Becca the Barbarian. It's alliterative. It's easy to remember.
Yeah, as I said, I'm really, really dire with names.
Yeah. You can drop your sword and pick up and ready the bow, but you can't fire yet.
That's fair. I'll be after aiming.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, Kerridan's go.
All right, so actually trying to figure out what this spell. What does command do?
Command lets you temporarily take control of someone, I think. Is it what rank spell is it?
It's a level 3 spell.
Level 3 spell.
Yeah. I don't have a book.
Sorcerer spells level 3. Command. A successful casting of this spell, magical attack versus magical defense, brings the victim, who must be of 1st to 3rd rank, which they are, under your control. They'll then do whatever you tell them to do.
All right, I'm going to cast. Well, make sure it's within range. What is the range?
The range is 5 meters. So if you move up, if you
I'll move forward.
Yeah.
I'll move to within distance and command the harpy that's got him in the air.
Okay. So spend the magic points.
Yep.
What's your magical attack?
Where'd it go? I just had it open. I changed the page. It is magical attacks 19.
Oof. Okay, roll d20. Under 15. Well, 15 or under.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. I rolled a 2.
Okay. So, yeah, you call out the command words, binding it with secret names of God, and what do you want to command it to do?
To the ground, meaning land.
Yeah, get it right. Drop her.
Yeah.
No, wait. Okay, so on its turn.
No, I was gonna say for it to land, but yeah.
So on its turn, it will obey that command.
All right. To be or something along that lines. Yeah. So it brings him down, right?
Yeah. Okay. And Brother Abbas.
Oh, skill me a flying turkey.
Okay, the one that swooped past Cesora is probably the most vulnerable, so make an attack roll at -4.
Under 9. Yes, 9 exactly.
Okay. Yeah, so you bring the sword almost like an axe, really, into the way of it and strike. It's +2, isn't it? So
Yes.
roll your armor bypass, don't get a 1.
Oh, I'm using the space. It's 2d4 plus 2.
Okay, then it'll go straight through. Okay, and damage?
Oh, that's nice.
D8 plus 1, I think. Yes, it is. 6 points of damage.
It's a
+2.
+2 spear, so it should be +2 damage.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
7 points.
7 points. Okay. Okay, yeah, you swing the spear in its way almost like an axe because it's got that sort of broad ivy leaf-shaped head with blades down the side. That's enough. And you cut through, down from one of its scrawny old lady breasts down almost to its navel as it flies past. It shrieks and flaps, spraying blood around the ground. Right, new turn. Cesora.
Cock, load, aim.
Okay. So ready to fire again in a moment.
Yep.
Right. Becca.
I'm held fast, aren't I?
Yeah, but it has stopped in midair after Caradon shouted something at it.
Do I perceive that? Am I aware of his potential?
I don't think any of you've seen Command Cast before, so
No.
it's just the harpy has a bit of a blank expression. But
It didn't have green glowing eyes? Or...
No. Eyes rolled back, mouth slack, sort of look.
Oh, I think I'm just going to take a breath, I think, because I'm hurting.
Yeah. Okay, so you grit your teeth and grunt as the claws continue to pull through you. It's not a nice experience at all. Alright, the harpies. The one carrying you lands slowly on the ground, releasing you. The one that was battling Cesora flies around in a rapid turn and descends on Abbas. Abbas's defense?
My defense is 6.
Okay. Yeah, it completely fails to hit you. It seems to be too wary of the spear to get close enough. So while its claws sort of scratch and bite at the haft of the spear, that's all it manages to do. It doesn't so much as leave a scratch because it's a magical weapon. Right. Finally, out of the foliage of this sort of main band of trees comes a last harpy. Unlike these others, which are all hags, this one has the appearance and aspect of a beautiful woman, save the whole wings and the claws and everything else. She's clad in a suit of old Celentine Empire-style leather armour and a leather headband, and she descends with an angry shriek upon Cesora. What's Cesora's defense?
10.
10. Okay. She swoops down to you. Can't sort of land with the claws, but it's flapping furiously right in front of you, raking the air. Right, Madrock, you got the bow?
Yeah, I've got the bow. So I was aiming at the one that just lowered the barbarian gently to the ground.
Yeah.
So if I've got a clear shot, I'll take it.
Go for it.
No, kill all the other ones. I can use that one to attack the mother. No.
too late. Twang.
Damn it.
If you can yell that before while you see me aim, I will.
No, you've got initiative, so yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
dude.
Shoot first. Talk later.
It's the title of your sex tape. Sorry. Oh snap! Okay, 20.
Okay, so yeah, you miss utterly. The bowstring slips from the side of the arrow, barely catching it, and just sort of makes it fly about 2 feet in front of you onto the ground.
Carradine breathes a sigh of relief.
Okay, Carradine's turn.
All right, so I'm assuming this has duration. So as long
it's still under your control at the moment.
All right, I tell it to attack the big harpy.
Okay.
And then I tell the rest of them, leave the little one alone until the others are dead.
Okay.
And so on its turn, I'm telling it to command the big harpy.
Yeah.
Maybe add some confusion to the mother harpy.
Yeah.
The queen harpy. Yeah.
So you can do something else as well as yelling an order. So is there anything else you want to do?
Do I have a ranged weapon? Well, can I have 2 spells going at the same time?
Yeah, you can. The durational spell will just last till it wears out. So.
Okay. I was thinking I've got 5th edition concentration shit on my head. So then I will dragonfire the mother harpy.
Yep, she's close enough. Right, that's speed 12, isn't it?
I believe so. Looking that up.
Roll 1 to 8 on a d20.
1 to 8. Whoa. No.
No.
I rolled a 20. I hit some trees. They catch on fire. Ah! I was too frantic.
Yeah. What's Caesora's evasion?
8.
Okay. Right, you're not hit by the gout of flame either. So Carradine barks the orders and then exhales at the end of the breath, and a huge gout of dragon flame sprays forth, but completely fails to hit either you or the harpy. But the flames sort of splash and drip to the ground and start igniting a lot of the dry tinder and the dried out bird shit that's all over the place.
Forest fire! That'll cleanse the land. I meant to do that.
Okay, Abbas's go.
I'll try and finish off the one that I attacked earlier.
Yep.
Yeah, 1.
Okay, so roll damage twice.
I don't need to make an armor bypass, do I, either?
No.
Wait a minute, he knows not to attack mine, right?
Yeah.
11 in total. 11 damage.
Right, that's enough to finish it off. Yeah, so you swat it out of the air and stab it clean through into the dirt underneath it. So there's only the mind-controlled one and the leader left. So new turn. Caesora, you're loaded.
Stop drinking!
I'm going to aim at the queen bitch. Fire at the queen bitch. She made a move with me, so I'm going to make a move on her.
Okay, take 4 away from your attack and roll.
This is going to hurt. 3.
Oh, she's giving up all her defense to you.
And for damage on the D10.
So I didn't hear what you hit.
On my attack, yeah.
Yeah.
And first on the D10, 9. And on the D8,
No, I have to keep correcting you on this. The first dice number is to bypass armor. It's only the second dice number that's damage.
okay, I've got 7 altogether.
Okay, you rolled the damage dice twice, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So not a particularly great roll. Right. Right, yeah, you jam the crossbow up at her at almost point-blank range and shoot. It lands in the meat of a weird turkey-looking thigh, and she shrieks and redoubles her efforts to job you. Right. It's Becca.
I'm going to roll 3 and pick myself up. And,
Yeah.
I'm going to charge the big, nasty.
Yeah, coming from the side and body check it. Okay, it has no defense left, so just roll under your attack. Or equal to.
Well, if that's fortunate, I rolled an 18. And so that is a hit.
Okay.
Such as an awesome martial prowess of Becca.
Roll to bypass armor. Don't roll a 1.
That 13 bypass.
Okay. And damage.
And 12 hits as I probably cut her wing clean off.
Yes, indeed. You lop her wing clean off at the shoulder. She spirals around a couple of times and slams into the ground, trying to flap pathetically with one arm as blood gouts out of the stump from the other, and then screeches one last time and lies still, which only leaves the mind-controlled one, which I take it you're all going to stab at the same time. It can't defend itself if it's in your sway, so you can just finish it off if you want.
Unsporting, but it's the best kind of opponent.
It's only a shame she isn't asleep. Or
Yeah.
all right. So yeah, you're now surrounded by dead harpy corpses.
Can you use harpy talons to put spell mediumship?
That probably count towards some sort of alchemical ingredient if you wanted to sever the claws.
Yeah, flip them. Yep, flip them.
Pluck them. Okay.
Possibly the queen rather than the run of mill.
While you're sort of crouching over them and cutting the claws free, you see that each of them has a locket around her neck.
I'll take the locket of each of them.
Okay.
What does it look like? Just a normal locket? Or
They're blackened and tarnished silver lockets, but they have the house crest of Duke Darien on them.
oh, there's bitches, are they?
Other
So
than
we've taken out his Air Force, taken out his clergy. All we have to do is take out his Marines next. Are the necklaces worth anything, Jim?
Probably a couple of florins each.
Yeah, I'll stop both of them. Yeah.
I take it you're going to show everyone else, though.
Yeah, I'll show my spoils. Oh. Ah.
I wouldn't recommend putting it
What's
on.
bitch corner?
Fortunately, the flames from the misapplied dragon's breath haven't spread too far. It's still spring, so all the green growth and green wood seems to have stopped it getting too far.
Yeah. Is there anything of importance on the queen bitch?
Just another locket and this leather armor that she's wearing.
Okay, well. May as well take it off her because she's no longer needing it. Take her headband off her as well.
Okay.
Yep. Roll it up and throw in my backpack.
Okay. The armor is sculpted to a feminine physique, but while everything else around here seems tarnished and filthy, it's uncommonly clean.
I might get a cup of pint later. Are we going to go up and check the nest then, guys, or are we just going to go back to the village?
Yes, you can. Yes, I'll just wait here and put my intestines back inside my rib cage.
Does
Crack on with that.
Does Caradon want to cast any healing magic?
How bad is he?
He took 8 wounds, I think. So,
but all the enemy are dead. We've taken care of the one that was charmed too.
Yeah.
All right then.
Is it? I think you put a claws underneath my ribs and punctured, and just lifted me up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do the major healing. So 7 hit points.
Cool.
So I've probably got a punch of the lung as well in there for good measure.
Yeah.
Well, I'll heal it by shoving my finger through the hole.
Hold still. I've got a bicycle repair kit. Yeah.
I have to heal it from the inside.
That's what he said.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle. No.
We're all girls together, aren't we?
Yeah.
Carried in. Yeah.
The magic will clean the wound and heal the internals as well. So you're good. So sorry, who was climbing up? Cesora, probably.
Monkey boy.
Yeah.
Going to a
use
nest.
that hay fork to poke through it rather than stick my hand in there. Well,
climbing. Okay. If your reflex is over 12, you can climb up, no problem.
I've got reflexes of 16.
Okay.
Not 12.
And you got your climbing gear as well, don't you?
Yeah.
So you use your tiger claw things to haul yourself up.
Actually, even though I've got the skill, that only gives me an effective 12. So I'm going to have to roll.
But it's still better than now. You don't have to roll because that meets the difficulty of climbing the tree. So the pair of you shimmy up the tree, up the slimy shit covered bark, and through this sort of network of ropes, which you now realise is hair all tied together and kind of lank ropes. And then at the very top there's a nest of bound together hair and bone and twigs, and it absolutely fucking reeks.
I'll press on cautiously, Jim.
Well,
All right.
I wouldn't recommend making an omelette out of whatever we get.
There's a few fresher bodies there. Looks like Jack's around, so he might come in a sec. There's a few fresher bodies up here. If there's any loot to be found up here, it's probably around them.
Yeah.
It's not particularly savoury work, but rooting around, you find the body of a reeve and his retinue of bodyguards who've been torn to shreds, and a small coffer with a padlock on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once we get out of the smell, I can work on the padlock.
Or you could just drop it from the top of the tree. That would probably work.
Ines, dude, come on. Give me a chance, then I'll throw a wobbly fit and throw it at a tree stump.
Okay, do you want to make a lockpicking check then?
Yes, yes. So 12, so I can do it, and it's that roll under my rank, so it will take time, but I'll get there.
Working together, you get the coffer down to the bottom of the tree, and then work on the lock. It finally springs free, and inside there's a handful of gold coins, a bunch of silver, a few copper coins, and a potion vial in a little velvet case.
Excellent. I don't suppose a label or any familiarity with previous potions might help?
Do you speak the Latin equivalent?
Akil, I believe so. Yes.
Okay. It says a salve to give the hands most dexterous capability.
Ooh, I know what that is.
Hey, Jack.
Hello.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, Jack.
Dude,
You're
I had no
away.
idea.
No.
Yeah, I had no idea you were playing today.
I did say, but yeah, I was disorganised today as well, so it's not all your fault.
We burned down the forest and killed a couple harpies.
Yes.
Hooray.
Well, you can return to the town, giving Elaine a chance to rejoin you now that he's over his fever or whatever it was that was keeping him in town.
I told you, the magic mushrooms.
And
We can take a rest.
you can rest, heal up the rest of the way, and plan which of the next dark spots in the forest you want to tackle.
Before we go,
bodies to the church there, or so they get some sort of burial.
You want them to bury the harpies in the church?
I would, because that would be funny. However, I'm sure that the bodies
Well, are they
Oh, the
corrupted humans that turned into? Did the mother turn human female into harpies?
No way to know. Yeah, you can lower the bodies of the reeve and the other corpses that are relatively intact down and lug them back on the back of your mule to town.
if there are any eggs, definitely smash them.
I was thinking that when you were treating me, Kerrigan, yeah, we was looking at the corpse of the mother, and that's a cuirass that she's wearing. That leather cuirass that's looks quite unique.
She had a magical. She had an item on her.
Yeah,
It looks like
Let's read the aura and see if there's anything magical in her nest or around the area where we're at. On them.
Cool.
the potion that was recovered from the coffer and the leather armor that she was wearing.
I've got the armor in the headband.
Yeah,
that looks like it might fit you. That Kerrigan, that leather cuirass.
Well, I thought he said he was wearing it.
No,
if it's better than my this other stuff on, sure.
yeah. I'm just checking what's the best armor that magicians can wear.
Nothing.
Yeah, I usually think they can't wear anything, so I was in shock that she was wearing even this padded stuff.
I'm just trying to find it.
Yeah, there's a chance of spell failure, isn't there?
Yeah.
Something like that. At least in D&D there used to be. I'm sure
Yeah,
other...
sorceress and armor. Okay. You can wear this.
All right, then yeah.
Let me just look up the values for you.
It's so rare to come across decent leather armor.
Yeah. Okay, so it counts as... It's leather armor, it counts as padded armor, but it's enchanted, so it's got a total armor factor of 3.
Oh, nice.
And it's got this headband with it as well. You don't think the headband actually does anything, but it's a nice sort of look to it.
It didn't have a magic aura to it?
It's part of the set, so it's enchanted to the same amount. But
okay.
So it's the Xena look, isn't it? With a little leather skirt and the vambraces and
yeah, it's the
warrior princess.
Yeah, it's that kind of stylized fantasy Greek sort of look. But
that headband is actually a chakra that she can throw.
The headband's more like the Conan one, you know, with the little nose piece coming down. Yeah,
it's like what Sonya would wear.
Yeah. Except you're a magician, so. Yeah.
But that's the best armor that you're going to see, I reckon. Kerrigan, so you better put it on.
Yep. She'll put it on. If you want to modify her.
Yeah, I'll sort out your sheet, but just for now, remember it's armor 3 instead of 2.
Armor 3.
Wow.
All right.
Right. So yeah, back at the town. Elaine's recovered. You take time to heal the remainder of your damage, get a meal, rest overnight again. the people of the town are increasingly thankful for everything that you're doing, especially now that the harpies are gone. They're starting to dare to venture out, scavenge the nearby woods for wood to burn, game, that sort of thing. So life in the village is rapidly getting better for everybody. So there are 3 places left that they told you of. There's the ruined Black Tower. There's the ancient Celentine Villa. And there's the grave of the sorceress Edas, which is poisoned and apparently poisoning the land around it.
Thoughts, all guys?
Let's go take care of her.
None of them are pleasant options. This poison thing, I picked up a few cures, possibly. I think they were described as purgative, so you might have to go and find a tree. But I've got a couple of extras if a couple of people want to get.
Yeah, you can dish them out to everybody.
Well, I'm keeping one. I don't know.
Obviously.
Was it 3 or?
You've got enough money. You can get as many as you want, really.
Oh, sweet. Then we got 1 each, and I'll pay for them. No worries.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Is it a poultice, Madrock?
I was told a purgative.
It's a tincture. It's a tiny little, a small clay pot with a wax seal on the top, and whatever's inside smells pretty goddamn pungent.
Depending on how.
If you're poisoned, swallow that, and it will empty your system. Apparently, according to the wise woman.
Depending on how much time we have, we should definitely finish off with the Black Tower.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So next then.
But what were the other 2?
So the ruined tower, the ruined villa, and the grave of the sorceress Edas.
I think the grave as well.
So we do the Dark Tower and the grave, then the villa, then the final confrontation.
But that'll be it for tonight. If you do all 3, and then next session you can go to challenge Darian.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Correct.
So which do you want to do first then?
The poison, I think.
The poison, yeah.
Okay, poison. I'm up for that.
1 second.
I fought the white lady once. Let's go fight the poison lady now.
So, as we go, if we do need to take the purgative, I'll show everyone the patent knave technique of the quick release drawstring on the strides, because
I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab a water and throw my ribeyes in the sous vide. I'll be right back.
Okay. Sweet. Ugh, posh. Whereas I had mac and cheese for dinner. Okay. Yeah. So the next morning, taking it as usual, you're just sticking to daylight as much as possible. So the next morning, you head out again into the forest. Without the harpies, and you weren't really aware of their presence before, but now that you know that they're gone, you feel a lot more relaxed, especially when the canopy opens up and you see the sky again. Every day it seems the woods get a little better, a little lighter, more wildlife, more new growth, more flowers, and less of the weird coloured mushrooms and shadows moving between the trees.
Walking mushrooms? What the hell would be?
However, following the directions and the little sort of sketch map that the villagers put together for you, as you draw closer to where you think you're supposed to be, the air takes on an acrid smell, and the back of your throat constantly feels like you're about to vomit. There's no mist, but there is a sort of greenish vapour hanging around everywhere, and the trees and the undergrowth's getting more and more stunted. A lot of it's blackened or yellow and brown and breaks into pieces like dry parchment as you brush past it.
Is there any sort of breeze that we could approach from that direction? Maybe cut down the irk factor.
There's a very, very slight breeze coming from one direction, so you can move there. Though you'll have to go off the path to do so.
Well, if we can see where the centre is because of the colour of the gas, we'll not lose our way.
Caesura and Madrock scouting ahead still.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, I've returned the bow, by the way.
Okay. What's your perceptions, both of you?
Well,
9.
Okay. And what's Caesura's perception?
well,
12. Okay. Yeah, so you're creeping ahead of the rest of you, who are sort of moving, weapons drawn, cautious. The vapour's definitely getting thicker, burning more and more at your nose and your eyes and your throat. You think you see the woods clearing out ahead, so both of you, Caesura and Madrock, move back together to consult on what to do next. And the ground gives way underneath your feet, and you drop into a bog up to your necks.
Another fun mess you've got me into.
Do we see this?
You're a little bit behind, so you won't get there. You won't catch up to them for a couple of turns.
Does it feel like we're in quicksand, Jim? Does it feel like we're in quicksand, Jim?
Kind of, yeah. It's thick, sloppy, slimy, stinking, muddy yuck.
Spread out and... Actually, I don't know if my character would know that. If I've still got that rope from where we set out before, any chance of flipping a loop onto something?
Yeah, you can try. Roll... Well, take 5 away from your attack and roll.
Okay, so that would be 7. 2. Neat. Yes.
Okay, so you hurl out the rope and get it around the stump of a tree and just hope it's not so rotten you can't pull yourself out.
And grab the assassin's wrist and slowly manoeuvre us out.
Okay, can you both add 2 to your strength and then roll under it on a d20?
9.
Yes. Made it by 3.
Okay. Grabbing onto the rope, both of you haul. The stump sort of starts to crackle and moves, like you can see the roots sliding out of the earth, but it holds long enough for you to drag yourselves onto the bank. However, where you sunk into the bog, your skin has blistered and come up in great sort of white, water-filled lumps. So both lose 1 health point of damage, and the others have just caught up to you. Yeah, so you see these two covered in muck with blisters all over their skin, sort of panting with exertion.
I can't
Anything.
This isn't a good time for us to swim.
Okay, you're going to come up with wisecracks. Why don't you lead in future then? I'll laugh.
Is there anything that, now that we've fallen into it, is there anything that would indicate another patch of that? Maybe a particular type of herb or a discoloration to watch out for?
Well, there's nothing growing on it. And most of the trees around here are dead, but that's a patch where there aren't any roots. So if you stick to where the roots are, you should be able to avoid any more of this bog.
And start using the haft of that hay fork as I go. I know very first edition, isn't it?
Test the ground, yeah. Okay, so you bunch up a bit more because you want to be sure that you walk in each other's footsteps, so you don't step into the mire.
And rub that crap off in case it gets any worse.
Right. The dead trees thin out and there's a big, broad area now in front of you. It's boggy, but it doesn't look that deep. There's a few rocks sticking out here and there with very sickly-looking yellow moss. This green vapor is much thicker here. It's hanging over everything. There's like a small walkway of piled up flint and stone that leads to the far end of this patch. And at that far end, there's a big old oak tree, completely dead, but it's not grown twisted, so it must be very old growth from before the forest was corrupted. There's a rotten remnant of a staff stuck into the roots at the base of it, and in front of that staff there's a cairn of flints and other stone, all just up in a pile. Can everyone roll a d20 under your perception, please?
Nope.
Did I actually succeed this time? Yes, I did. It's the first time.
Oh.
Nope, failed.
Just missed.
So, someone succeeded?
Yes, I succeeded.
Okay.
Got 7. My perception is 7.
Okay. So those who succeeded, you think you can hear like a feminine voice, but very muffled, of whispering and cursing. It's right at the very edge of your perception, and it seems to be coming from the cairn of stones.
Does anyone else hear that?
Aye.
Hear what?
Over there. And I point towards this direction. Zora, why don't you check it out?
Okay. Stealthily walk up, Jim.
Okay. What's your stealth?
23.
23. Hang on. Forgot to write down perception.
Sorry, I'm back now. All right.
Willkommen. Sorry, what was your stealth again?
23.
23. Okay. Right. You creep along this walkway. Every so often, your footsteps cause one of the stones to tumble into the muck. But that's all. It can't be helped. The vapor's really starting to burn your lungs. Take another point of health damage. And you've reached the cairn. And this close, you can hear this constant whispering and cursing underneath the soil, underneath the stones.
What language is that?
Ellislandic. So,
I don't use a language I never speak.
regular English.
Speak this language. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the same people we chaps are not yet?
Sorry, did you call back to them?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, so as you turn and call back to the others, bubbles erupt from the bog and an enormous serpentine head rears up out of it right next to you and attacks
Oh no.
with surprise. Alright. Right, what's Cizora's defense?
10.
10. How did I forget to write down the right stats? Never mind, I'll find it. Okay. So your defense was 10, right? Okay. It opens its maw and bites down on you with its many-toothed mouth. What's your armor rating?
2.
2.
Yep.
Right, past your armor. Take 2 health of damage.
Okay.
And roll 3d6. Try and get under your current health.
So my current health at this moment in time is I've taken 1 from the bog, so that's 1 bit of damage. 1 to get there, that's 2.
Yep.
Plus a further 2, so that's 4.
Or
So I have to get under 11.
Yeah. Hang on. No, 2d6 under 11 then. If that's your current health.
Yep. I got 6. Yep, no problem.
Okay. Right, so you feel your veins burning as it pumps poison into you, but you've handled poisons enough that you seem to be quite resistant to them. Right, now we go to normal actions. That was its surprise action, so it goes again. Right, so having bitten you once, it rears back, whips its neck around, and tries to bite you again, but you manage to tumble to one side on the rocks and get out of its way. It's your go.
Right, unsheath my short sword of Vardala and out with the goblin sword +1.
Okay.
Now let's go, bitch.
Well, preparing your weapons. That's your turn, but you're ready to fight. Right. So Elaine, across the other side of the bog.
yeah, just gonna run straight towards us.
Oh, Cesora, take another health point of damage from breathing the poison.
Okay, so that's me down to
10.
10.
10. Yep. Right, Elaine, take a point of damage from the noxious vapors, and you draw your blade and charge along this rocky path. You'll be able to attack it next turn. Becca?
Yeah, draw sword charge.
Okay, so you're closing as well. Take 1 point of damage from the poison. Madrock?
I'm going to look for a spot where I can throw a dagger. And if I can I bind a cloth or something around to stop me from breathing this crap in so much? Because that's going to kill me in short order before this thing ever does.
Yeah, you can rip the sleeve off your shirt and pour some water or something over it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sadly, that has to be the priority at the moment.
Yeah, so you get that done. Right. Kerridan.
All right. How many creatures are there?
Just one. This great big green snake-like head that's come out of the water.
Yeah, we're gonna dragon breath it. Just pop one off at it and try and hit it.
Okay.
Is everybody out of the way? I'm not gonna hit anybody else.
You shouldn't hit anybody else. So cross off the magic point. Speed 12. So roll d20 1 to 8 to hit it.
Oh, roll a 1! Yeah, baby!
Oh,
Okay, roll damage.
Alright, that's 1d6, or, where's that? Hold on. Dragon breath was here. Yeah, it was 1d6 plus 6. Thought I had it right. I'm just double checking.
Yeah.
That will be 8. No, 10. It's plus 6. 10.
Yep. So it's,
Minus armor.
yep. Take 1 health damage from breathing in the noxious fumes. So you step closer, take a deep breath, almost cough, but then breathe out this huge gout of flame towards the thing. The bog water on it sort of steams and flies off it, and its flesh is scorched. It roars in agony. Right. Abbas.
I'll charge in and try to get it with my spear.
Okay, take 1 health point of damage from the poison. And since you've got reach on the spear, and you kind of have to carry it with you, I'll let you attack. So its defense is 6. Take that away and roll.
Oh, 7 exactly. So just got it.
Okay. And it's got a plus to it, so it's going to get through the armor. Roll damage.
6 points of damage.
6 points. Okay. Yeah, so you charge forward, shift your grip to the end of the spear and jab out, and strike the thick part of its neck towards the bottom. It bleeds green blood and hisses again in agony. Right. New turn. As you watch, the burns and the puncture mark begin to close up and heal and regenerate. Though it's not that fast, it seems to be reasonably slow. It continues to attack Cesora, snapping and biting as he jumps and shifts and moves around, avoiding it. Cesora's go.
I'm going to split my defense into 2. So I'm going to attack with the magical short sword of Badara,
Yeah,
and I'm going to parry with the goblin sword.
So that gives
basically I'm
you-
gonna go
so that gives
it's
you
like
plus
stab.
2 to defense. Yeah,
Yeah, so stab, parry.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you splitting your defense if there's only one enemy, though?
All right, but that will.
So if you're using the one to parry, then it'll just be plus 2 to your defense if and when you get attacked again. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to do
Okay.
that then.
And then you attack with a short sword. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, its defense has already been used, so just make an attack roll.
6.
And that's going to get through armor because it's a magic blade. Roll damage.
5.
5 damage. Okay, you lash out with the sword and lop its head off at the neck, but where it's split, instantly 2 new heads grow from the stump. Elaine, you're close enough now.
Hydra. Hmm.
So what are you going to do?
Probably grab Cesora and try and run back.
Okay. Oh yeah, Cesora take another point of damage from the vapor, and Elaine take another point of damage from the vapor.
Yes.
And you grab Cesora and start trying to pull him back.
Yes.
Right. Becca's go.
Okay, well, I'm going to cover their retreat by lopping off another head, I think.
Okay. It's got no defense left, so just roll under your attack.
11. Yes, that's a hit.
Yep. And damage.
5.
Right. So one of these new heads, which is a sort of lighter, brighter green than the others, and hasn't grown to full size yet, you cut it off before it can, and it instantly branches into 2 new heads. Though the thing seems weak and sickly, nonetheless. Madrock.
Okay, there's 2 ways of defeating this. One is to keep cutting the heads off until it's just weighed down so much it can't. Or go the servant of Hercules that burnt the stumps. So I'm going to light my lamp and I'm going to molotov the bugger. So I'm assuming that will happen next round.
Yeah. So you light the lamp.
Yeah. And if I can go for the body, maybe. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's submerged.
Yeah, that's submerged, but you can hit the upper part of the neck that's visible. Okay, so yeah.
If I, rather than risk a throw, if I could smash the lamp into the mess of heads.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay, so you light your lamp and hurry closer then. You've got your mouth covered, don't you?
Yeah.
Right. You don't take any damage from the gas. Kerridan again.
This sucks because... Alright, how many heads are on this Hydra thing?
It's got 3 heads at the moment.
I'm going to hit one of the heads with fire.
Okay.
Better than one.
Huh? More than one if I can.
Right, so...
And I'm going to end up taking damage.
Yeah. So, take another point of damage and...
Roll below 8. I rolled a 5,
Okay.
and I got 11 damage.
Okay. Yeah, you engulf the thing in flames. The small heads that are in the middle of growing out sort of melt away in the fire, like match heads. And what's left of it sort of falls back and sinks back into the mire, and the vapor starts to dissipate.
Alright, who's hurt right here?
Me.
Yeah,
Yes,
7 hit points
alright.
to him.
Thanks.
Yeah, I caught that somebody was hurt. I just couldn't figure out whose name it was.
Just as well, dude. Just as well.
Okay.
The scissor person, yeah.
The tales you've heard of Hydra, you were expecting something bigger. Maybe you were lucky and it was just a baby one. But...
Bullshit. There's no baby Hydras.
Keep an eye out.
Just born, they're born full born. That would be very painful.
Oh yeah.
There can't be any baby Hydras because who'd fuck one of them?
The harpies.
Another Hydra, another Hydra.
Even another
2
Hydra, probably. Okay,
It'd
but
be like one of those breeding camps where the horses don't want to do it, but they're forced to do it.
Some sort of Hydra stud farm.
Yeah, that's it.
They get Bugs Bunny
My
to dress
head,
up as a lady Hydra. Yeah.
There's a lizard that actually tears its dick off and throws it at a female, isn't there? It's literally go fuck yourself.
Oh, please.
I just got to do that.
That sounds self-defeating. Anyway, you wait for the vapor to dissipate, and now it's the way is clear to the big dead tree.
We just got started this way.
Yeah.
I've still got the lamp and I'm keeping an eye on the pool because if that thing comes up again.
Yeah. You can glass it.
Are you happy now, Serling? But I actually got a hickey.
Of course. A little
It's only fair.
bit shaken up.
Like, yes.
What did we learn from that? Don't yell back to the party when you're scouting, maybe.
It's completely clear. None of them saw me.
While you're in the middle of the camp, right? You're in the
Yeah.
middle of the orc encampment, surrounded by 1,000 orcs. I did a good job. They can't find me. Wait, what?
The bard assisted my stealth check.
Yes.
I thought this was a bucket. And it's not a bucket.
Hide from the orcs. Ding, 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 ding.
I've been shot at close range by an orc. I'm going to blow my horn, attract more of the buggers.
Kronk, did you hear a clarinet?
Not heard the trombone.
Okay, so are you checking the grave, or are you just happy to have slain the Hydra?
Yes, I'm checking
Anyone else?
very cautiously, very slowly.
Yeah, I'll go along.
Okay.
I'll have a look.
Move along. With the second party.
Okay, so 2 of you move up, and you can hear this voice swearing and cursing from inside the cairn of stones.
Oh, shut up, you hag.
Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble.
No, not again, not again.
The staff seems completely rotten and ruined. It doesn't look like it's any use anymore. So all there is this babbling sound from beneath the rock.
Is that your stomach?
Just to
sir?
be clear, we were sent here to kill this woman, correct?
To lift the poison, which it seems you've done by slaying the Hydra.
Yeah, but if she's still alive, she could summon or create something else if that's how this turned up.
I don't want to. I feel like you should sneak in there, but I no longer feel confident to ask you to sneak ahead on your own after letting you walk into that trap.
Ambush. Very important distinction. Is there a... Can we tell exactly where this noise is coming from? Is there a gap under the rock? Or...
It's a pile of stones. It's a burial cairn, so they're all pretty loose. The sound's coming from the end where the staff is.
Oh, let's move over and take a look at that. Or is it just him? Hold on. Yeah.
No, you can move up as well. So there's this constant cursing and babbling coming from beneath the stones.
Does it seem to have a name? A language?
Yes, it's speaking slightly old-fashioned Icelandic.
Not one of my languages, I don't think.
I think you all know Icelandic, actually. So.
Do we?
Yeah.
I do.
Oh, yeah. I have old, Icelandic intermediate.
Yeah.
Can we tell what it's saying, or is it just really just... it sounds familiar, but it's not actual coherent words?
It's just an endless string of obscenities and curses, mostly seemingly directed to someone called Scrimkin.
I'm going to be taking the notes of the more inventive one.
To use later.
Does the staff look important?
It's rotten and worm-eaten.
Rotten? No.
Yeah. Any enchantments in it have long since gone.
Speak to the stone and say, who is this, whatever that name is, that it's obscene.
Okay, the cursing stops for a moment. And then the voice speaks louder out of the stones. In a more... In a less rough, less blue, and more feminine tone. Scrimkin was my apprentice, a betrayer. Who's out there? Can you lift me free?
How long have you lied here?
It's impossible to know. I'm buried in rocks.
What year was it?
They give you a date, some 50 years back, something like that. So sometime after the curse began to befall the land, which was 70 years ago.
It's like the late 900s at the moment, I think.
Yeah.
So we were told last week that she was buried here. I think we kind of assumed she was dead first.
I was not supposed to remain dead. That's Scrimkin's doing. Lift me free.
What say you, gents?
Anyone have any objections?
Well, if this is part of some of the curse upon the land, a voice that speaks for 50 years in the ground could be very much part of what's going on.
Was Scrimkin a good guy or a bad guy? That's the question.
Well, it's all perception in many people's eyes. Is the knight who works for a king who defends his land good? But what if the king was oppressing a foreign land? Was he good for oppressing those people? It's all a perception when you really look at it. The question you ask is it undead or is he alive? And is the guy the one who caused the undead or is he alive? Is he for life or against life? would only be the question that I would ask. And I say to the voice, was Grumpkin a necromancer?
We experimented with life and death and rites of all manners. Scrimkin, I think, was tempted by power, whereas I was not.
What were you tempted by?
An attempt to cleanse this land.
Can I use my person reading on that statement? See, just after if that's a lie or.
You can try, yeah.
A 2.
It's a half-truth.
Okay, I'll whisper that to the group. I don't believe that's entirely what the statement was.
So her intent is not that she wanted to cleanse the land, but there was something else, or that she was not entirely for power, but yet she was still here to cleanse.
If you had been buried in the earth 50 years, would you be happy when someone found you, if they left you there? Now, please, lift me free.
Fine.
I say let's let her up, and we shall see what happens and deal with it in a Discord.
Right. I'll sort of step forwards and try and lift her out.
Okay, you pull aside the stones. Whatever was in here mostly seems to have been dissolved down the decades by the acid left by the Hydra. But one thing remains untouched. A pure white polished skull that still somehow has long white blonde hair attached to it. And it's from the skull that the voice is issuing. Ah, blessed air and sunlight. Lift me free, good Sir Knight.
I don't know how to tell you this exactly. You might not be very well.
I was.
Oh, shit, Sherlock.
I know what has happened to me. I was supposed to have been reborn, and with me, the forest.
So are you one of the cunning folk that we were told of?
Hedge magic? Peh, no. I'm Mistress Edas, sorceress of the woods.
Brother Abbas, do you still have that gauntlet?
Yes, I do. I've got it on my hand.
Do you want to retrieve this skull?
Certainly.
Okay, so you reach in with the gauntlet and lift the skull out.
Alas, Barbaric, I knew him, Horatio.
The skull makes a sound like taking a breath, but with no lungs or anything. It's a bit odd. Ah, there is a fellow magician amongst your number.
I am Sorcerer Saradin. Pleasure to meet you.
Perhaps you would do me the honor of carrying me.
What is it you? Where would you wish us to take you to rest? If your skull cannot find rest here.
I do not wish to rest. I cannot rest until these woodlands are cleansed fully, and the evil that lays on the land is lifted. So I would travel with you and offer you my wisdom and magic.
Do you answer me one question, my lady?
Ask.
What do you know of this dark tower?
The tower?
Yeah.
'Twas intact in my time.
I'll carry my offhand.
Let me just see what she might know. 'Twas intact in my time, and a fellow sorcerer by the name of Fabian made it his home. He was also working to prevent the corruption of the woodland in his own ineffectual way. We were rivals of a sort. course, I'm sure he's long dead.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you any friend to Darian?
Darian.
Yeah, which one was Darian?
And
the
I'm very
one who had the
carefully analysing her reply.
He
Is
would
that
have.
the one who was Darian? Who was the guy who was working with the leper dude?
He would have been a mere princeling in my time, so I do not know what he grew into. But if he's anything like the rest of this land, he grew up bent and twisted.
Sounds about right.
Yes. All right, I take some courting, and because it's just a skull, right?
Yep.
So I will make some courting and make it into, you know how the islanders will make shrunken heads and hang them from their waist.
Yep.
I'll do some courting for the skull and carry it and
Yeah.
attach it to my belt.
It's an icebreaker for when you walk into inns.
Oh yes, I was looking for it to see if I had a staff. I don't have a staff, so I think a headpiece to a staff would be hilarious.
We're really gonna win friends and influence people with that, aren't we?
You just walk in, you say, "Are you talking to me, or are you talking to the staff? What are you talking about, staff? Tell him what I'm talking about." You are an nincompoop.
Just pretend to be a ventriloquist if anyone starts trouble.
I've got a silver ebony staff. Do you want that?
Okay. So do you want to return to town and rest up before you take on the next place?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Well, is anybody hurt before we go home?
Well, you can just rest up and you'll be able to cast magic as much as is needed to heal everyone up after that.
Blisters.
You've built up enough trust with the villagers, and they've seen enough strange things in their time that the skull doesn't seem to worry them too much, and she's very restrained and doesn't say anything while there's normal people around.
It's a demon! The ancestors are speaking through the...
But she does, stay up talking with Caradon quite late into the night.
Talk magic.
Yeah, they're just discussing various aspects of magic. She does know some spells and formulae which she'd be willing to share with you once you've established a bond of trust between the two of you.
Can she cast magic, or is she
Without
able to summon mana to cast?
Without a body, I can't make the proper gestures or channel power in the right way. So,
right. I was just curious.
I am reduced to a mere theoretician.
She's ahead of her former self.
But I remember everything. Okay.
Remember, assuming she travelled, because some of those curses were rather good.
I'm just going to the bar. I'll be back in a minute.
What we need to do is turn her into a librarian and put her in the middle of the library. Oh, great head of wisdom, I'm here to beseech you.
40k, isn't it?
Yeah.
That will attract a lot of people. Yeah, you want 10 gold to talk to the head? Come on in. 10 gold.
Yeah, but if you put a sign outside saying head 5 gold, I think you're going to attract the wrong kind of customer.
But skilled customers.
You heard you have a talking head.
Right.
Tied to
So,
the top of a chicken. This is a chicken with a skull head. That was just...
Do you want the silver ebony staff or not?
The what?
I've got a silver ebony staff. If you want to mount on that, like you said, you want to put on a staff.
Oh.
That
What
was
staff that you've been... I've been hearing you talking about a staff. I was wondering why you were carrying a staff.
No, it's
What
a
is
silver ebony staff I picked up a while back, and I've not found any use for it. So if you want to sort of like mount her head on the staff, you may as
Sure,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll turn it into like a little headpiece on a staff. It'd be cool. As long as
That
it's not
would-
something you attack with.
That would.
Would
Hang some really pretty stuff off of it, some crackling things, some metal bits that clang as you're walking. Make a proper sorcerer's staff.
Would she recognise the designs on the staff? That was from Kavala's island, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. None of that stuff was good.
Yeah, when she sees the staff, she says, runes from one of the moon cults. Best steer clear of them, if I were you.
Oh, they were nothing. Yeah, just a couple of doggies.
Don't be so sure of that. So was it the tower you wanted to go to next, then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
How many enemies did you actually have on this art world?
Just have to wait for old school to get back.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Right. So yeah, you wait again till morning. You do your normal sort of ritual of making sure that everyone's healed up and rested and fed well. There's venison stew this evening.
Yes, I summon the food of nastiness. There's a bland food.
But that would still have been better than what they were serving. But now that they're able to hunt and so on, they've got proper venison stew and fresh bread. Yeah, things are a lot better. And then the next day you head out again, a few hours down the trails into the forest. Yeah, almost the entire oppressive atmosphere has lifted now. There's just hints here and there of the old evil that used to lurk here. The old skull sticking out of the mud. A piece of plague-carrying vermin here and there. The tower's relatively easy to find, though, because you just have to climb up a tree or wait for a clearing, and then you can see it towering in the distance. The Black Tower sits on top of a small hillock, which rises up from the level of the forest. It would appear that this tower is all that remains of what was once a castle. Ruined walls lie in heaps in the brambles all around you, almost like the forest tore it down on purpose. The sides of the tower are matted with ivy and climbing plants. There's an arched entrance at its base. Its door has long since vanished, leaving no trace other than rusty stains on the ground. A single statue of a grotesque giant being covered with ivy stands to the left of the door. You can see what looks like a fountain and a well within the tower. The floors of the tower all seem to have collapsed, leaving the inside open to the elements. A thick layer of grass and weeds has overgrown its ancient flagstones.
Does this statue look like a gargoyle, Jim?
No, not really. Hang on.
Oh, what was the name of that lady in the staff?
Edas.
Edas. Edas, do you recognize this place?
It's in a state of great disrepair, but this is certainly Fabian's old redoubt.
It is cursed upon. We're here to cleanse it. Are there anything that you know of that might have been here to watch out for, wards or traps that he may have had?
Fabian was fond of puzzles, and he was a summoner by trade.
Some of what?
Well, you remember that creature we found in that pyramid basement?
Yeah.
That creature was summoned by a summoner, most likely.
Yeah.
So there are varying creatures through the cosmos that can be summoned. Angels, demons, give them whatever name you wish to give them. But these beings come from other lands. There are some that can summon animals from the nearby forest and lands, but most of the conjurers are from other realms. Bodiless, like we saw before.
From what I recall, says the skull, Fabian was more interested in the elements. He was fascinated by the primal magic of elementalists, though you require a natural talent to tap into that power.
Didn't we find that riddle that his Fabian
Yes.
apprentice gave to us?
Yes. It's.
Yes, and there was that stone as well, wasn't there?
I
Yes.
currently have a Hydon, I think is what it's called. A summon a water elemental?
Yes. But the parchment from Fabienne is written on Keridin's sheet, and you also have that banded agate that was with it.
Oh, I don't see that. Where's that at?
It's under your image.
Read the riddle and ask her to solve it for us.
Well, let's see. Oh, there it is. She's highlighting it now. I didn't look to the right side of the page. I'm looking through the items in my stuff. So that stone that we couldn't figure out what that stone was going to be for, right? We thought maybe a key. Right. Yesterday, the other warriors eagerly rode their horses ever nearer the hideous enemy, exhausted yet exalted, men of undaunted trust. Paul heroes against nameless darkness. Sorry, it was two A's. Swords wielded over rising gloom. That's right. That's that thing you posted for me because I couldn't understand. I couldn't hear you very well.
Yeah.
So what does this mean?
All right. Do we see? Doors. He is exhausted. Exalted. Do not know yet. As of right now, nothing is coming to me from what we're looking at this tower. I'm not sure if this matters to this tower, or is this the tower that the leper was talking of?
It is indeed the one that the leper was talking of.
Oh shit! Do we see anything on the doors?
Well, there is no door. There is this grotesque statue to one side of it. Otherwise, you're going to have to go in for a proper look. But you can see a well and a fountain. But all the upper levels have collapsed in, so there's heaped rubble all around everything.
I doubt it,
What
but
happened?
I was going to say there is a chance that this hideous statue is the hideous enemy, and having ridden eagerly over here, it could be the start. Maybe this is something that's going to be on the inside of the tower ruins.
I believe
Does the fountain look active, Jim?
Sorry, what?
Is the fountain active or is it dried up?
It's dried up.
Stay clear of
Yeah,
them. Could fall on us.
Well, hopefully after all this time, most of it has fallen, but do not make explosions and things that might rock the ground. Shall we go inside?
Yeah,
Well, I was just going to say, remember...
does your
what
new
happened
friend...
last-
so, Gillian, does your new friend know the answer to this riddle?
Oh, having read it out, does the skull say anything in response?
She just says, tricky.
Tricky. DM doesn't want to give it away.
No, no, I just botched on a roll. So,
Well, you remember what happened the last time you crossed the threshold next to a hideous statue? I think we should be ready.
Oh, is there a statue attacked y'all once?
Should we have a look at the fountain before we go in?
the fountain's inside.
Oh, the fountain. All right.
Yeah, I'll sort of draw my sword and...
So what kind of roll did you make? Can I make a roll?
No.
Ah, darn it.
and then sort of like wave to people, like we should head in, but be careful. Keep an eye on that thing.
Okay, so who's going in first?
Elena.
I will.
Yeah,
Use by example.
so stealthily going in. Now, yes, I do want cover, but no, I don't want to be near a wall that could collapse. There's someone there.
So Caesar and Madrock can skulk, and Elaine strides ahead, and then the rest follow. Nothing immediately happens. when you step inside. So
Ta-da!
the ground is all uneven, piles of rubble from the collapsed and pancaked floors from above, with brambles twisted all through them. Here and there, you can see patches of the original bottom floor through the rubble. At some point in the last 70 years or so, 50 to 70 years or so, someone has scavenged stone from here to build something. Maybe that mad woodsman at some point came here. But as you cross the threshold, the fountain makes a horrible sort of vomitous gurgling noise, and a load of brown muck spills out of its mouth and then gradually runs clear. The fountain is a head. A grotesque twisted head, similar to the one on the statue outside. And it's vomiting out this water into the pool in front of it. There's a slight glimmer from one of its eyes.
But the curse of the area was obviously caused by fracking, I think.
But if the water catches fire, you'll know for sure.
Ah. I'm keeping an eye out for residents.
What do you make of this, Carradine?
I didn't hear what he said.
You didn't hear what I said. So across the room, past the well, right, there's this grotesque face fountain, and as you cross the threshold, it began to spray water. So it's a horrible looking face that's vomiting out this water, and you catch a glint of something in one of its eyes.
Take a look. Perhaps it has something in there. It may be a magic fountain that is made to produce water. There may be an item there that is in the face. Do we wish to search it?
So
I wouldn't drink the water. It's cursed land.
This seems to be your expertise.
Can Carradine roll a d20 under her perception, please?
I made an 8, so let's see. What's my perception?
6.
6? All right. Oh, then nope.
Nope.
If it's a 6.
Okay, so you skirt around the edge of the well and up to the statue. So the statue is... this is more like a proper gargoyle, but it's like its body is coming through the side of the tower, with its hands sort of clutching onto the bricks. It's got big bat wings, swept back horns, and it's vomiting out this water, which is now running clear. Though because the pool at the bottom of the fountain is so choked up with weeds and rubble, the water's starting to flow out over the lip. In one of its eyes is a highly polished banded agate.
Hey, why don't you get up there and pry out that agate? Or do we think it's a trap and don't want to do that?
My lady, what is it you've got from the leper?
Oh, wait, we have another agate, don't we? Does it look the same shape and size as the other agate?
Approximately, yeah.
A banded agate?
Yes.
Pull out the agate and try to put it into the other eye.
It fits perfectly. There is a clicking, clunking noise, and then the water ceases to flow.
You broke it.
I broke it. It's done. Is anything else in the room changed?
Fountain off.
Well, some of the water that overspilled the fountain has run down into the well. The flow of water has also cleared some of the muck off the floor, but that's about all.
Let's get ready to rumble.
All right. So perhaps that was a trap, but we're returning. And this was given to us by the leper, right?
Yep.
That's weird, guys. Does the agate come back out again?
Yeah, you sort of press and pull at it, and it clicks and pulls free, and the fountain starts to flow again, splashing water all over your dress.
Right, and then put it back in.
And it stops again.
Well, that's interesting. Well, I wanted to make sure that it was a switch of some sort.
Can you make another perception check, please?
20.
Got some
Was
of that
there
middle.
These are really pretty gems.
So
Was
if
there a-
the air gate's out, is it possible to investigate the eye socket and see if there's like a button that can be pushed without, and that way get to keep the air gate, because they might be valuable. I don't know.
You could peer in. There is a mechanism, but it doesn't make any sense. You think that the mechanism is a form of physical magic. So the gem is mildly enchanted, and it's some interaction between enchantment and mechanism that switches it on and off.
Let's
So-
try this. While that one is in, pull the other one out.
Okay, you managed to get that one out, though it's a bit tougher because it's been in there a long time, and minerals have laid down on the stone and so on. So it takes a bit of effort, but it pulls free with a slight crunch noise, and the water stops flowing.
Starts flowing again?
Stops flowing.
Stops.
Oh, I know. I thought it was already stopped because I'd put the eye back in.
Yeah, but then you're prizing out the other eye. Oh, so yeah, it starts up, sorry. Yeah.
So it starts up. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. So let's see if it's an off. You want to take them both out and see what happens?
Both out and then stretch them over. Never know.
I heard Jag, is that a no? I heard you groan.
Can I sort of like check the statue outside again?
Yep. You go out and look at it. It's another hideous stone figure. Taking a closer look at it, through where all the sort of vines and creepers have grown up around it, you can see that it has a pair of bat wings folded behind its back.
Okay, I will
What
go
about-
ahead. Oh, go ahead.
What about its eyes?
Its eyes are just simple carved stone.
I thought I had a tangent there, but no. I don't think it's what I'm thinking of. So I was thinking that the agates could be actually put into this statue
Oh, I got you.
instead of the fountain.
I'm going to go ahead. We just came back from town of another rest, so my magic's back, right?
Yeah.
I forgot to scratch that out. All right, and the poison damage was gone. I'm gonna go ahead and cast detect magic aura. That detect aura.
Okay. And then sort of scan
Points.
around the room.
Yep.
The whole tower has a faint magical aura. There's a stronger one coming from the fountain, and from within the fountain's mouth. And there's a much more powerful residual magic you'll sense coming from below, down the well.
Is the well big enough for a human to go through?
Oh yeah, it's huge.
Perhaps the switch is to stop the water so that someone can get into the well without drowning.
Maybe. So let's put the while both of the eyes are back in. So put them both in and it stops.
Yep.
All right. Who's the best of us that can climb?
Let's see, so the assassin or me. Probably.
Why
the assassin.
Why don't
Like
one
to
of
go
you
to
try to go down the well and see what might be down there? I detect some magical auras down below.
Rock, paper, scissors for it.
Sounds like a plan. I win.
There you go. So down I go then.
Right. So you drop the rope, and then what?
Yep.
Madrock's climbing down.
Apparently so.
Okay. There's enough light streaming down through the open top of the ruined tower that you can see what's below even before you start dropping down. There's an enormous bronze statue down there, holding a sword aloft. and around it is water up to top of its ankles, which would probably be about your knees, and there are quite well preserved skeletons in the water scattered around it.
What does it look like happened
Sorry,
to
pardon?
the? What does it look like happened to the skeletons that caused them to be killed?
The acid
Like,
you're
crushed
reading is
It's hard to tell. There's not really any damage on them. There's a bit
I
of...
think he wanted to find out if they were carved in half.
No, they seem intact. There's a bit of mineral deposition on them, like they've been in this mineral-rich water for quite some time.
So, if you didn't have a rope, would this be an oubliette situation?
At one side of this chamber, there is a narrowed staircase that seems to lead up to the bottom floor, but whatever opening grants admittance to that staircase seems to be covered by the rubble.
I think I'd tie off a rope and get ready to throw the rope down.
Yeah.
If there is somewhere to tie off the rope.
Yeah, there's plenty of things you can tie rope off to.
Well,
Adric, what do you see down there?
well, I will climb up rather than shout up because I've learned that lesson from someone else, and give you a sit rep. There are skeletons. I don't know if they were thrown down while this was an active well, by a series of careless blunders. But there are stairs down there, so whatever it was once meant to be, some sort of chamber. I mean, I could shift some rubble and see if I can uncover the door to the stairs. Is that how?
Yeah, you've got an idea of where it should come up, so...
And if someone could have me on a quick pull-up system, we've got enough rope for that.
Yeah, you've got enough rope to hang yourself.
Yay, just enough.
I mean, you know where you can gauge roughly where the stairs come up, so between you could clear off the rubble here and hopefully find the entrance to the stairs.
Yeah, that'll make it a lot easier for everyone. So
Right.
give that a go and just
Okay.
risk imminent doom. It's fine. That's part of the job.
So between you, you rapidly pull a bunch of fallen masonry out of the way and reveal a flagstone with a rusted circular metal ring set into it. With a bit of a pull from a couple of the stronger members of the party, opens up, revealing a flight of stairs descending into the darkness. There's a trickle of wetness from the overflown fountain, sort of running down the steps and joining the rest of the water in the well bottom.
Alright, down we go then.
Okay. So who's taking the lead?
Down I go.
Okay. With the rest
I
of you
guess
following. Rest of you following up behind. Okay. So yeah, there's plenty of light coming down through the well, but it only really sort of hits the central part of this chamber, where this giant bronze statue with the sword is. There's like a series of steps down to the bottom of the well where all the water is pooled. So it looks like you could come down here when the water was at different levels and you wouldn't have to wade through it. So you can get close to the edge. Then there's the water. It's going to be about knee deep on any of you. These skeletons lying around beneath the surface, and this great bronze statue holding this sword.
Bronze is pretty pricey stuff in those sort of amounts. Why would you put that at the bottom of a well? It's not a well, it's a chamber, isn't it?
It's a chamber of some sort. Well, it's possible that it is protected by the water that's coming through. The water turns on if somebody's in the inside the tower, but it floods it to keep it from allowing normal humans to go down there because they can't breathe water.
No, but you can swim.
Somebody but what if you have to take time to go through one of these doors? You can swim, but how long can you hold your breath?
Now that you're able to look closer at this thing, A lot of the sort of creepers and brambles have grown down from above, and some of them have twisted around the statue. When you get a much closer look at it, it's a bit odd. What you took to be bronze is stone, but it's got the corrosion on top of it, the same colour that bronze corrodes.
What
But that-
greenish colour.
But there is no natural bronze that occurs, really.
That's verdigris.
I suppose we should take this sword then.
If it's big enough for that statue, I don't think we'd be able to shift it, would we?
For any of you, it would be a two-handed sword, but for the statue, it proportionally it looks like a one-handed sword.
It's a toothpick for the
Okay.
statue.
You after a new sword?
No, I'm good.
Yes, it could be dangerous to pull the sword, but if you wish to take it to
We can't
add
just
to the
come down here
coffers.
for can't just come down here for no reason. I mean, that leper gave us the gem for a reason. And
True.
if the sword is the only thing in this chamber, then
There's no
You
other
take it.
doors, secret doors, perhaps?
Yeah, start searching around.
Okay. You skirt around the room, looking everywhere you can. Roll d20 under your perception.
Two over.
No, there doesn't seem to be anything peculiar here. Yeah, it's old. There's sort of faint remnants of paint on the walls here and there, but the damp and the rain and the rot has done for all of that. If it wasn't for the skeletons, it would be quite picturesque down here.
Check if there's any like loose panels on the floor, Jim. Like loose,
Yeah, between you check everything, sort of tap every brick. Yeah, there's nothing. The water does seem to descend lower, so it is a proper well beneath the statue. It's like he's straddling the whole of the well that goes even deeper.
Oh, there's another way through. Wait till the water is gone, and then see if you can go further down.
Well, there's
or perhaps
you don't think the water will descend any more.
perhaps
Oh,
we
I
should
thought I
move
heard
this
you-
statue.
Perhaps that would be an interesting test.
Let's tie a rope and tip it over.
Okay, you're gonna lasso it.
Yeah.
Okay, make
I'll
a
try
atta-
But let's think this through. Really large, heavy statue and crusty underground chamber that we're going to have to be in to tip it.
Well, stand back.
Oh,
Tip
it'll be fine.
I'll take the sword first. I like the look of it.
Okay. So yeah, make an attack roll at -5 to lasso.
Oh, yes, I succeed.
Okay, so you whip the rope round, throw it over the head of this great big statue. It's going to take all of you hauling to pull it over.
Can we look at the best direction to do that in? I'm worried about the place collapsing on us.
Well, this bit down here, it's already had most of the rest of the tower collapse on it. It does seem better built than the rest, but just to be on the safe side, probably away from the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, okay.
Okay. Is anyone refusing to help pull the statue over?
No. If it takes all of us, we
Yeah.
should do it.
All right. You do your best overthrow Saddam move and tip the statue over. It falls and smashes its head against the wall and sort of slides and lands on its shoulders on the side of the bit. So if you climb over it, you can reach the sword now.
Aha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
we walk over.
Okay, the sword, it's a separate piece, but it looks like it's made of stone, but it's not carved from the same rock as the hand that's holding it.
It is detachable. Well,
Or
then
would
reach
be if
over.
you could open the statue's fingers.
Hate this. I'm gonna have to break this statue's fingers apart so I can take it.
when the sorceress cast the detect enchantment, what showed up as magical?
The statue, the skeletons. It's a more sort of general glow from down below. This whole room is enchanted. That spell's probably still going.
Oh, the skeletons did.
You say the skeletons?
Yep. The skeletons, the sword, the statue, the whole room here, really. The fountain, the statue out front.
You can't tell that they're different. Got it.
Oh,
No.
gee.
Just tell it's magic. But there's a lot of magic here.
This
Does
whole
anyone
room
have
is
a mace or a hammer?
It's possible that those skeletons will animate when you take the sword.
And we shall dispatch of them.
Okay.
I don't want to have come down here for nothing.
Okay, let's leave them down here.
Does anyone have a hammer or anything?
I was going to use the combo by sword.
Swords are
Yeah,
probably
I
not
just
good
have the
against stone.
pommel of my sword.
I mean, with enough effort, you can.
Yeah.
And time. It is a magical sword. Alright, you smash and smash and smash, and manage to chip off the pinky finger and sort of wiggle the sword from below. Smashing off another finger gives you enough room to push the sword up, and then it falls out with a clonk onto the side.
And get ready for rocking the skeletons.
And nothing happens yet.
I like
Yeah,
that.
pick up the sword.
Okay, it's incredibly heavy. It is made of stone, so it's a two-handed sword made of stone. It weighs a ton.
Thought it would have done something. What about the the platform that it was standing on?
Well, the sword didn't break when it hit it. If it was stone, it probably should have chipped or something, but it doesn't.
Possibly an inscription on the handle, like being concealed by the hand, or
Nope.
Yeah.
The sword's covered in lichen and moss, same as the statue.
give it a clean.
Yeah, you wipe it off. It's stone, the same kind of stone as the statue.
Well, if you find something that's allergic to rock,
What was the statue of, Jim? Was it the same statue outside?
This statue is more like a
Edward.
sort of idealized man. Sandals, bare chest, muscles, Greek skirt thing.
Yeah, there's definitely nothing underneath where the statue was.
There's the deeper part of the well, past the skeletons.
Oh, there's a deep part of the well.
Yeah, that it was sort of straddling. But that's just a small passage just to allow the water up, you think?
well, it'd be worth lowering a lantern down on the end of the rope to see if there's anything
Okay.
full of water.
But he said there's water in it, so it's kind of like a clogged channel right now.
Yeah.
So, right.
So we'd be swimming or trying to lower him down a small hole with slow speed, most likely, into water.
What exactly did the leper say about this place?
He said he used to work for the guy. The guy was dying.
Yeah, it was his apprentice.
Yeah, he was the apprentice. And he just said his master said some adventurers would be coming, and give this piece of paper and this rock or stone.
What
The
does the
gate.
paper say?
I read it. It's right there on my sheet. You look at my sheet. It's right on the right-hand side.
Fabian invites
Under my picture.
noble daring men.
Fabian invites noble, daring men. So he said, yesterday the other warriors eagerly rode their horses ever nearer the hideous enemy. Exhausted yet exalted, men of undaunted trust, which could be us if he was some sort of soothsayer, let's say. Haul heroes against nameless darkness, swords wielded over the rising gloom. Now, this statue could have been the sword wielded high over the gloom of these dead bodies, perhaps. Haul heroes against nameless darkness? Perhaps as we go down into the into this well, that could make sense. So from there, that's all.
Rising gloom could be the water rising.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Oh, maybe we are supposed to allow the water to fill the room. That sounds dangerous.
It's a might not be literal. It could be a code of some sort.
Yep. No, I'm thinking of it as metaphors in a sense. But yeah. But the rising gloom, he's right. It could be the rising water.
Sorry, the last word is doom, not gloom. Don't know why I made that mistake.
Oh, that's
not
different.
That makes much difference.
Swords wielded over rising doom. Well, I mean, rising doom could still be the water. So, either way.
Hang on a minute.
Are there any holes near the ceiling where this room looks like it could pour the water somewhere?
No.
All right. Wait a minute. What is yours?
Hang on a minute. Is it swords wielded over rising doom? What does the first letter of each word make?
Sword. Yep.
Swords wielded over rising doom. SWORD.
Yeah, it's spelled sword.
Oh. So, what was it? We took
hand. Technique. Oh, yeah, everything. Because, look, hand is the word before hand sword, right? So you have YTOW is not a word.
Fabian invites noble daring. That's FIND. Find.
Find my word.
Find my.
You spelling it all out?
Find my tower. Then the mouth hand
sword. Find my tower, then the eye, mouth, hand, sword. What?
Well done. My last two groups never figured that out.
Well, there was something in the mouth. There was something. The eye was the eye that we put into the statue. There might have been something in the mouth of the fountain. So we should probably check the mouth. It might have a switch that opens the door.
The hand is probably the one you just cut off.
The hand is probably the one that y'all broke with the sword. All right. Hey, Rogue, why don't you go up and see if there's something in the mouth of that gargoyle?
Yeah, I can lift your hand. What?
You're more perceptive than I am.
Okay.
Do as instructed.
Yeah. Right.
And who's got the stones? So I might need to.
I know the stones are in the eyes of the gargoyle.
Yeah. Currently, they're both in there.
Stop the water. We don't want the water flowing, so don't take the stones out.
Okay, so you peer inside, and there's a bronze scroll case in there.
Okay, that's too easy. Look for traps.
You put your hand in, it eats it.
Exactly. Can I pop it out with a dagger or?
Yeah. It doesn't clamp shut or anything, and you manage to hook the scroll case out. So it's a bronze tubular scroll case, very very precisely made.
Okay.
Good call on the words.
So, if there's nothing on it,
No.
give it a very gentle shake.
Okay, it rattles slightly, and you figure out that it's actually threaded. So you manage to unscrew it, and inside, on very well preserved parchment, is a scroll.
Dude, I can't read this.
Yeah, covered in arcane sigils.
Yeah, you'll have to bring it back to me. But I think you're done there.
Oh yeah.
Because now we need to put the statue back up. Was there a second hand?
That?
He found it in the mouth of the gargoyle. I didn't see it with my perception rolls.
Okay. And then next one is hand.
Yeah, hand and sword. Hand sword.
I just noticed as well that the way that it's written, there's like a weird comma after the word enemy. And then every single one, then loads of commas. So if you add in the apostrophe and then the commas, it reads, find my tower, then the eye, mouth, hand, sword. So, yeah. Whoops.
Oh.
So next thing we need to find is a hand.
Well, I was going to ask, does that statue we knocked over, what was the other hand doing with that, not the sword hand?
It was just clenched into a fist.
It might just extend one finger right about now.
Yeah, fuck you.
Can you identify what's on the scroll?
Yep.
It's not in Old Landic. I don't know if
Caradon can read the scroll. It's a scroll of dispel magic, and the border is a set of interlocking earth and stone and steel runes.
What level spell is that?
Dispel magic. It's
That's 6th level. Wow.
It's pretty high. Yeah.
Well, in this edition, can you use a magic scroll above your own ability?
Yes.
Without making a roll that it blows up in your face?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Perhaps.
Yeah, dispel magic is level 6.
It could have been that we need to cast the dispel magic on the magic that's in that room below.
Yeah, I was about to say that because everything's magical in the set.
But I think you're supposed to pick a specific item when you cast dispel magic. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I'm gonna kind of look it up. Any directional spells operating within range. The whole damn room.
Yep, so it should
not kill anything 6th level or lower.
Oh, it's got a 5-meter range. So
yeah, 5 meters. Is that the whole room? Or no?
So that's a 5-meter radius. It's not the whole room.
So if I stand in the middle, 5 meters both directions, no? It seems like it blows. It's like a blast from you, 5 meters in every direction. That's 10-meter diameter.
If you stand next to the well, it would encompass the well and the gigantic statue.
What do you say, guys? Shall I burn this spell here or keep it? For this is a powerful magic.
Well, if we can't find anything else to do with a hand or a sword, well, we found a sword, but
this whole room is like a trap, isn't it? I mean, I'm surprised.
What about the statue outside? There's nothing to do with its hands outside.
Oh, the big statue outside, the grotesque one?
Yeah.
I don't know. What was the hands of the statue outside doing?
They're just in front of it, like praying, or Mr. Burns steepling.
Well, if the prize is this massive sword, then I presume if like Kerrigan reads a scroll, it'll turn back to steel from stone.
Maybe.
Only if it's a durational spell. I believe Dispel Magic only works on durational spells.
What if we assume that
Well-
that Fabian wrote the scroll and Fabian cast the spell? Then I think we're good.
All right, then let's do that.
But I mean, you're right. If we don't want the sword, then we should keep the scroll.
Well, can't finish half finish this.
He's like, nope, we're out of here.
You want
surprised.
that finished badge, don't you?
So consensus is to use the scroll? Any nays?
Okay, I guess do it.
All right. So standing next to the well, where in front of the statue would have been,
Yep.
go there and because there's nothing in here that's in the shape of a hand, right? Other than the statue itself.
Yes, that's it.
All right, read the scroll.
Okay, so you lift the scroll, unroll it, make the incantations. A pulse of anti-magic splashes out from you and wafts over the well and the statue. In the well, the skeletons briefly shudder, try to stand up, and then collapse into separate bones in the water. The statue, the sort of stone and the creepers that have grown over it are sort of shaken free, and the surface starts to transform back into bronze. The sword transforms into a glistening, silvery, two-handed blade from stone.
Interesting.
Job done. Nice.
Finally. Yeah.
He's like, finally, but it's still a bronze statue. So the statue's now a bronze statue, like a metal bronze.
Yeah, but it's still in the process of disenchanting because it's so big.
Yeah,
I'm
so we'll wait.
I'm so surprised nothing didn't just animate and murder us
No,
all.
it looks like all the animated skeletons died. They were all disenchanted from being animated.
What does the sword look like?
Are you picking it up?
Yeah.
Okay. It's an older style of sword, similar to Becca's claymore, but a bit more refined. It has a fine, sort of silvery coloured blade. The crosspiece is bronze. There's an emerald set on one side, a sapphire, and a ruby on the base. And the handle itself beneath the binding looks like quartz crystal. You're suddenly deafened by an enormous roar of pain coming from the statue. It suddenly springs to life, slams its wrist into one hand, and looks at its stumpy fingers.
Ah!
Uh-oh.
Sorry about that.
Blue flame erupts from its eyes and mouth, and its whole body starts to crackle with arcane power.
Run away!
Run away! Run away!
I don't know what you mean. Sheridan's already out of there.
Right. women and children first. Right, you sprint up the stairs while this thing clutches its hand and looks at its broken fingers, roaring incoherently. You burst out of the trapdoor and out into the base of the tower.
We found the hand.
There's another sort of roaring sound, and the tower makes it echo even louder. More and more bricks start to tumble from it, and an enormous bronze hand reaches up over the edge of the well.
Don't.
Nope.
I'll run outside the tower, but sort of like turn around and draw the two-handed sword.
Okay, you have to cast aside your shield.
We can't run from this thing. We can't leave it here. We have to kill it.
You kill it.
This is enough. We've all styled our creatures.
It was his sword back.
Just leave fingers.
Then it will have it back.
Okay, so dropping into combat turns then.
Alright.
Alright, 1 second.
Go turn around.
Okay. Right, so you're all outside. Elaine casts his shield aside, draws the sword, and waits, giving his little speech there. But what you do is entirely up to you. The doorway, the archway into the tower, bursts asunder as this enormous bronze thing lumbers out, with lightning crackling around its feet on the ground. It grabs a piece of masonry and hurls it at Sir Elaine. What's your evasion?
Evasion is 7.
7.
Squish.
Okay, roll d20. If you get 1 to 5, you manage to get out of the way, I think. Hang on. No, I roll. I'll take your evasion away from the attack. Okay. In which case... Right, you're struck by a hurled piece of masonry. What's your armor factor?
5.
5. Okay, it gets past your armor. And does 8 health of damage.
Oof.
Yeah, so a huge lump of masonry from the arch over the door comes flying across the distance between you and slams into you, spinning you around.
How big is this thing?
Huge.
I'm
Huge,
starting
immense, big.
I'm starting to second guess my bravado. Let's run.
Oh, now you do it.
Well, it's
You're second guessing your desire for that sword, huh?
Caesaurus go.
I'm gonna fucking leg it.
Okay. You turn around and run away as fast as you can.
Yep.
It's the statue chasing us, right?
Yeah. Elaine.
Yes, also run.
Okay. No. Bugger this. Turn and flee as fast as you can. Right. Becca?
Well, I'm going to run, if I can, run and laugh at the same time.
As a free action.
I'm laughing so hard I can barely run.
Yeah. Madrock?
It's assessment more than anything else. Does that thing go near any sections of tower that I could possibly push so it falls on it? This would require instant assessment and stealth to do it so I don't get killed.
Yeah, by the time you get into such a position that you could do that, it will have moved on. So, no, not really.
Fair enough. Rabbit.
Yeah. And Abbas?
Run away!
Okay, you all flee. You can easily outrun. You can easily outrun this thing because it's big and lumbering. So you disappear into the trees down the trail and hear this roaring and smashing from behind you.
Head for the swamp sections.
Yeah.
So we got rid of a lot of cursed places and things that kill people, and let loose even a worse one.
No. We head for the swampy sections. We know what to look for. That thing goes straight in, hopefully.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yep, so you want to go back to the Hydras.
Sinks like a brick.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
point.
we're going to slowly draw it there and go, come on, you can catch up. We're almost, we're not getting far enough away.
Even though it can't see you, it seems to be bearing in on you with an unerring accuracy and instinct.
It knows the sword.
Hear Becca's laughter.
Even though it's dropping back behind you, you're still hearing trees being uprooted and overturned and seeing flocks of birds taking to the sky. But you could definitely move a lot faster than it, though you are starting to get tired by the time you finally reach the bogs.
We won't be able to get home and sleep. This thing will chase us all the way back to town. Hopefully it'll go in the bog.
Okay, so you're just going to wait on the other side of the bog? Are you going to do any other preparation, get anything else ready? Yeah, you got.
I'll ready to cast Dazzle just in case we need to slow it down a bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna point at the blood streaming out of my helmet.
How much damage did you take?
Blood
8.
streaming out of your helmet. That's a hell of an STD.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Get cream for that.
Are you a full 7 now or just a little bit?
Pardon?
He lost 8 wounds.
I lost 8 health.
All right, take 7 back, and I'll take off the points. So I'll give you a heal there.
Oh gosh, sure.
Okay, so otherwise you're just getting your weapons ready and waiting.
Yeah, we're gonna rest so that we're not tired.
Yeah. So
and hopefully this thing sinks.
Drink some water, get your breath. Okay.
Have I got enough time to pick out the sort of squidgy section so we can be on the far side of that?
Yeah. And if it is homing in on the sword, you can get Elaine in exactly the right sort of position. Okay. Right, the crashing and thundering and roaring continues to get closer, and then abruptly a bunch of the dead trees that are around here is blown into splinters, and you see this thing lumbering forward, one great bronze sandaled foot after the other. It glares at you with these blazing blue eyes, and steps forward, and steps forward, and steps right into the bog. The ground just sort of gives way under its sheer weight, and it sinks down to its waist in it, and it's having to wade much more slowly, pulling itself forward with its crippled hand.
I have a feeling this bog's not going to stop it.
Okay.
It certainly slowed it down.
Hey, Edus, do you know how to turn one of these off?
Return the sword to it, or destroy it.
Oh, hit it with the sword?
I meant give it to it, but you could try that.
I don't want to give this thing back its sword.
Perhaps the sword can destroy it.
Whatever you're going to do something before it gets out of the bog, because I
Exactly.
don't fancy being buried again.
Whack a couple of daggers at it.
Throw fire at it or do something. Attack it.
Okay, it
Fire
is...
crossbow.
I'm going to try
Dagger to the eye.
dragon breath at its head.
Okay, well, it's wading forward on its turn, so it's about a third of the way across the bog. Caesura?
Oh,
I'm going to get my short sword and my golden sword on standby.
Okay, so you're just waiting, ready, lurking. Elaine?
I can't wade into the... I want to hit it with the sword, but I can't wade into the box to do that.
No, you have to wait for it to...
Yeah.
You could fire a bow at it?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I could fire my bow at it.
Or do you have any vials or potions or anything?
Nope.
Okay.
I just have a bow. A big sword.
So,
Okay, we've got one. You
Here's a
mentioned a hide on earlier on.
here's a fancy question for you, DM.
Mhm.
How many times can the hide-on be used? Once per day? Once ever?
Yeah, it's a potion like a purified or sanctified version of whatever element it is. So you shatter the bottle or pour it out, and that summons the elemental.
So, guys, would you like me to summon the elemental to try and fight this thing?
No. I think we can just jump it as it comes out of the.
Okay.
Backup
Yeah.
plan. Right.
Yeah,
So,
it's back up.
so Elaine, fire an arrow at the thing.
Wait, what is that?
Yeah, hit.
Yeah, it can't apply any defense. So yeah, roll to bypass armor.
Hold on a second, I'm just checking my bow. It's D6. 4.
I thought it was more than that for the bow. Oh, I guess not. Okay, yeah, the arrow just sort of tinks off it and lands in the bog. It's shattered. Becca's go. Javelin?
I'm not going to waste a javelin. I'm going to wait until it's doesn't hit it with
Where's
the
the
sword.
javelin?
No. Look at it. It's an enchanted bronze
I'll
creature.
give you the money for a new javelin. Just throw it.
Mundane weapons are not going to work. It's an enchanted bronze creature. We're going to hit it with a sword of Valander.
You're going to have to get into the bog to do that.
Well, that's the thing. We can't wade into the bog.
What? He's coming to us. We just have to wait by the bank.
I
Okay.
would say Elaine used the sword to draw it away, and we hit it from behind while it's trying to come to you. Perhaps it will ignore everybody else.
Right. So you're just gonna wait, yeah?
While it's at range, I'm going to shoot it with fire.
Well, I mean, Becca, I mean.
Yeah, I'm going to wait, yeah.
Okay, so you sort of line up for a swing. Madrock?
Okay, I'm going to throw a dagger at one of those blazing eyes.
Okay.
But also, maybe a suggestion, if you use the Haydn, instead of attacking it, maybe attack the ground underneath it. You could drown it.
I don't think it'll drown. It's a golem.
Well, it'd think, though. Mud won't do, water might. I don't know. But shot to the eye? No, not a chance.
So yeah, it can't defend itself, so it's just under your attack.
Yeah, I rolled an 18, so well.
Okay, I think the armor penetration is only D3 for throwing daggers, isn't it?
No, I missed by a lot.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I rolled an 18, so...
You throw your dagger, but it hits it with the blunt end.
Yep.
And the dagger falls into the bog. Right, Kerridan.
Well, is it within range yet?
Yeah.
My range isn't that far.
Do you have any other offensive spells yet, or is it still just really Dragonfire?
Dragon Breath is 20 meters. I have that ring with the wind.
Yeah, that probably won't help too much.
Probably won't. I was just looking those over.
Yeah, you've got level 3 spells, don't you?
Yep.
Shadow Ball.
That's level 4.
Tangle Roots. Once it gets to the edge of the bog, maybe tangle it where we can hit it while it's in the water.
Yeah.
That's been going through my mind. So I'm waiting for that to get closer to the edge so that we can hit it while it's tangled.
Okay, so you're just gonna wait.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and do one of the dragon fire just to see what happens.
Okay, go for it.
Or is it not 20 meters away yet?
Yeah, it's in range. You can move to the edge of the bog and belch fire at it. So it's one magic point. It can't evade, so just roll 12 or under.
Rolled a 2, only 8 damage though.
Okay. Okay, so the flames blast into it. This material it's made of, it's like bronze, but it's not as tough, as strong. It's like a flexible metal flesh. As you flame smash into it, they blacken it, and heat distortions go up, and its chest sort of distorts slightly under the wash of the flame.
It took damage.
It took damage, just not hugely. It seems fairly resistant to it. Right.
It can be damaged, gents.
Right, it wades closer. It is now about halfway across the bog. Cesaro.
How far away is it from me?
It's about 10 meters away from your...
Did they have, whilst I was standing there doing diddly squat, was any chance of seeing if it had like an Achilles heel or anything visible?
This power that's surrounding it, it looks like electricity, but you don't think it is. It seems to be attracted to natural things, rock and plants, things like that. So it's arcing to them rather than metal.
So if I was to use my swords, it wouldn't do any damage to it, correct?
Well, they're magic weapons. They probably still would be able to hurt it.
Yeah. I was going to attack its ankle. Well, if its ankle.
It's in the
Well,
bog.
it's hot. It's hip deep in the bog, so you can't really reach its ankles.
Okay, I'm going to do a double whammy and attack its head.
With what?
In with my goblin sword and my.
You'd have to enter the bog
You'd
to
have
reach
to
it.
wade into the bog.
Yeah, I'll wait.
Okay, so just waiting. All right, it's all very tense, waiting for it to reach you.
Is it seem to be having the arc that's coming off it? Is it sort of like an aura of damage?
Yeah, it's burning and harming everything it touches.
This could be bad.
Elaine, another arrow.
Indeed.
Okay, roll to hit.
Strike true.
Okay, armor bypass.
5 this time.
Okay, it just pings off again, but you did hit it in the face. Right, Becca, still waiting.
Yeah, still waiting. Yeah.
Still waiting. Okay, Madrock.
Is it too tough to take any damage from the acidic swamp?
Well, you cleansed the poison, so the swamp's not really so acidic anymore.
Said it before, I'll say it again. No good deed goes unpunished. Right. Is there enough of a tree nearby that I could scale?
Yeah, there's plenty of trees you could climb up.
I have a harebrained scheme in mind, so I'll climb a tree.
Okay, you scramble up one of the trees.
Yeah. I won't say it's because it really isn't. But
Kerridan?
I'm going to preserve some of my magic in case we need to heal somebody. So I'm just going to have the sword out,
Yep.
my +2 magic sword, and wait. I might do a tango root when it gets up, but we'll see.
Okay.
It may be too strong for that.
Yeah. And Abbas?
How far away is the golem from us now?
About 10 meters. It'll reach the edge of the bog next turn. So you'll be able to attack it in melee, but it won't really be able to attack you back there. And then next turn it'll be out of the bog.
I'll say it's not in range of dazzle yet because it's only 5 meters. Hold on, I'll wait then.
Okay. Right, new turn then. Right, it reaches the edge of the bog and digs its big bronze hands into the shore and starts to haul itself up out. So, Cesora.
Drop its visible hand.
Okay.
Both swords in for the kill.
It can't dodge. You lose all your dodge this turn, but that shouldn't be a problem. Yep. So you attack with both weapons.
Yep.
So make 2 separate attack rolls just under your normal attack.
The first one I get 6.
And the second one?
6 again.
Okay. Roll armor bypass for both attacks. So that's the first dice before the slash.
First one 7.
Yep. The second one.
7 again.
Okay. And roll damage for each weapon.
First one 5 and the second one 6.
5 and 6. Okay. So as it digs one of these hands into the shore, into the bank, you spring forward and smash down at it with all your might, opening a couple of shallow wounds on its arm. It doesn't bleed, but that energy crackles around it and grounds through you. What's your strength?
10.
10. Okay. Right, it shocks you for a moment. What's your armor?
+1 boiled Draco leather. So that's armor factor 2.
Okay. Take 3 health from the energy as it grounds through you, but it also seems to hurt the creature to do that.
Okay.
Like it saps some of its power to shock you when you stab it.
Oh,
So it's trying to shock me, and I conducted it at the same time, basically.
Yeah.
it has
yeah.
a battery that runs out, perhaps. Nice.
Elaine.
Two-handed sword
Okay.
straight on top of its head.
Using the sword you took from it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the powers of Grayskull.
So roll your attack.
Hit.
Okay. It's a +2 sword, so it's a two-handed sword. Do you have the stats for that? I don't think you do you?
No.
Right. Two-handed sword. Okay, so it's D10 +2 armor bypass. And
Yeah.
and
that's an
D10
8.
and D10 +2 damage.
That's 9 damage.
9 damage. Right. The sword smashes into the top of its head and cuts off a clump of the bronze sculpting that makes up its hair. And some of this energy sort of crackles out and around it. So... What's your strength?
12.
12.
Sounds like it's our strength is how we fight against this.
Yeah. And your armor rating is 5, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, your plate mail acts as a sort of Faraday cage, and the earth power just crackles around you without hurting you and grounds out through your boots into the ground. When you struck it with the sword, as the sword sort of rebounded off its head, the blade shifted and changed into a sort of flowing column of water.
This is strange.
Right. Becca's go.
Okay, I shall deliver a flying, whirling attack with my
Okay.
two-handed sword.
Yep. Full attack. Roll under it.
18. Yeah, that's a
That's a hit.
Yeah.
Armor bypass.
10.
Yep. And damage.
5 hits.
Okay. And your strength is 16, isn't it?
15.
15. Okay. Okay, you're not stunned. Your armor rating is 3 or 4?
Was 5.
5. Okay.
Plus
Right.
1 male.
Yep. Okay, so the power just grounds out through your armor, the magic in the rings protecting you. It's staggered, it's weakening, it's bleeding this kind of earth energy through the many wounds that you guys have put on it. Madrox, go.
Sorry, muted. Right. Stupidity abounds. I want to jump off the tree,
Yep.
reverse grip right into its eye.
He rolls 20, misses totally, hits the thing, falls to the tree, hits the ground.
What can go wrong? Let me give
Okay,
you
so your full attack.
Yep.
And
with a
roll.
back cry of something cool.
Geronimo! Whoever that
Hang
Geronimo
on,
is.
that's not too bad. That's made it by 5. No, made it by 6.
Okay. Right, roll your armor bypass with an additional +1 for all the weight and oomph behind it.
Oh, hang on, it's gone up.
Yeah,
Oh, right, okay.
but you get an additional +1.
Yeah, nice. That's +3. So it's a 7 in total.
Okay, and roll damage with an additional +2 from the crazy attack.
That's 10 damage right in the eye.
Nice. Okay.
Hey,
Right,
you're
and
not
what's
on
your
the ground.
and what's your strength?
Oh, it's naff. It's 10, I think.
10. Okay.
So he's not grounded. So like a squirrel on those wires where the power goes, he's not affected, right?
Well,
Hey.
remarkably, you're not stunned. What's your armor value?
1.
Okay. However, while you're not stunned, the power does arc through you and burns and blazes and singes your hair. Takes 6 wounds of damage.
And
And you're
glory, baby.
you're thrown back off it after stabbing it clean through one eye and blinding it in one eye. But then the power just hurls you back from it into a tree with a horrible crash.
Worth every second.
Every second.
Abbas,
Is it 5 meters close enough?
it's right at the edge of the bog, so you can reach it now.
Right, I'll cast Dazzle on it then.
Okay.
I'll roll my spell expire. I'll see if I'm not exhausted. I am, but it still works.
Okay.
So it'll be it's -8 defense, and I get a free strike, or I can run away from it. I'm going to take the free strike.
Okay. So what's its penalty to defense? Minus
-8.
-8. Okay.
Only last one combat round there.
Yeah. All right. Make your attack.
Is it just under my normal attack then now, or?
Yes. Well, actually, add 8 to your attack and then roll. Seems fair.
Fair enough. Oh yeah, no problem. 7.
Okay. Roll an armor bypass.
The speed is 2d4 plus 2. 7 I rolled.
Okay, and damage.
9.
9 damage. Oof.
Yeah.
Okay. But what's your strength?
Strength is 13.
Okay. And your armor?
3.
Right. Yeah. The shock doesn't get through to you. Nor are you stunned. And yeah, you run it through. It roars one last time and then seems to sort of break apart from within, radiating green light, arcing power into the bog, then breaking into pieces and sinking beneath the mire.
Oh, that would have been magic metal. We could have sold that.
Oh.
I'm just going to fly the end of my spear off like it's a shotgun.
Well,
When did
there you
Marlock
are,
go?
Elaine. There you
Yes.
are, Elaine. You
Yes,
now have
we-
a magic sword, and the enemy is now gone.
Have we got a lesson now? Have we?
Very much interested with my sword, but I'm also like looking around to see where Marduk went because I saw him shoot overhead a second ago.
Oh, right. Let me go find him, see if he's alive.
The sword reverts to metal.
Oh.
Reverts to metal?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
turned into
when
water.
When I hit it, the sword blade turned into water. It's
Whoa.
awesome.
That's
So
weird.
After the statue fell apart, I was like holding it and like, oh, this is cool, but I can't.
Magic water sword.
I can't pay attention to it. I have to focus back on Marduk.
No, I'll go find him and see if he's hurt. How bad? He looks pretty bad now. 6 damage out of what?
6.
Oh, so you're
6 out of 6.
yeah, so you're unconscious in a heap
Yep.
at the bottom
He's
of the
not
tree.
considered dead. He's not dead though, right?
No, you have to get to
0
-3
is
to be dead.
unconscious.
All right, I'll go ahead and give him the 7 healing. We'll give him the full bump. 1, 2, 3.
Right. It's nearly 11. The only thing left for you to tackle is the...
Villa of Ilrefuge.
I suggest we go to town and take a day of rest before we little rest.
is the villa. So we can either stop now and skip the villa and not bother with it, and then start on Darian's castle next week, or we can try and do a sort of headlong rush through the villa if you're able to stick around a bit longer.
Yeah,
Do you
I'm not.
do you think we'd be able to?
If we do it quickly.
I
Okay.
feel great. What's that burning smell?
So we go home, we rest, we sleep, everybody's healed, I
Yep.
get magic back, and we go.
And
All
then
right,
you
done.
track out the next thing. So yeah, everyone have your magic and healing back. Right. So, once more, for the last time, you tramp out into the woods. The whole feeling of oppression is almost left entirely now. The twisted mushrooms are dying off. The trees, even though they're distorted and knotted, are putting forth new growth. And seems a lot better in every way, really. There's even signs that some of the villagers have almost been this deep into the woods, sort of laying snares for animals, hunting, beginning to clear the litter from the forest floor, beginning to coppice and control trees again. So yeah, you're pretty much done it. But you follow the remaining path that they told you of that leads you to the villa. You pass through what was once, many, many years ago, probably an orchard, but without being tended, the trees have gotten twisted. There's blossom, apple blossom, growing on some of these trees, but you don't much like the look of them. And the ground beneath them is just a mash of rotted fruit that's fallen and rotted away during the winter. The unnatural nature of the woods kept the animals away, so they obviously didn't feast on it, so it's just a mush of rot. But you come to a low, partially ruined wall past the remnants of the orchard that runs along the overgrown pathway that you're following. After a few minutes, you find the wreckage of a weed-covered gate and an opening in the wall where it once stood. You can just make out the ruins of a building at the end of a long pathway flanked by more withered orchard trees.
Well, let's make our way through.
Let's continue forwards quickly.
So, usual thing, just with the scouts a little bit further ahead?
Yep,
Yeah.
SOP.
Okay. Unlike the buildings with which you're familiar, that tend to be ramshackle wooden or rough stone affairs, this structure has the remains of smooth stone slabs on its walls. 2 ornately carved, fluted columns have fallen into the middle of the ruin. This may well be one of the buildings your fathers and grandfathers told you about, which were built by, so they said, a godlike race of men who ruled the world in ages long past, leaving their wondrous architecture scattered across the land. Grass and brambles now cover the intricate mosaic patterns on its floor, and anything of interest in the place seems to have been removed hundreds of years ago, but you're hoping not.
Mistress Feeder, was this your old gaff?
It was one of the places I called home. There is a way into the basement which should still be intact, she tells you.
Then we should go there then.
Then we should go there.
Alright, she guides you over to it. And as in the tower, you shift the rubble aside and find a flagstone with a ring in it. Though the ring is so corroded, it's no use, and you have to sort of lever the stone up with your magic swords, which thankfully are unbreakable. And then you're able to make your way down, but you are going to need lanterns or torches.
I will carry the lantern for y'all.
And stand somewhere in the middle. Right.
You can shed some light. I know that song.
I hang the lantern from the staff.
Right, you descend smooth steps, long worn by the passage of many, many feet, and descend into a chamber. There's... So to the north, the room is in nearly complete ruin, with big piles of churned up earth and blocks of shattered masonry that have fallen through. There is a hole that seems to have been dug from below, with earth sort of heaped up around it in the northeast corner of the room. And in the northwest, opposite that hole, there's a broken gap in the wall that seems to lead through to more chambers in this basement.
I'm down there with the assassin, or are we all down there?
You're slightly ahead, the others are slightly behind on the stairs, sort of following you down.
So, guess fan out, be quiet, and see if whatever dug up is still about.
Okay. So you creep over to the hole. You hear a hissing sound coming from within it before you get too close.
And stealthily back away from the hole and tell people about this.
It's on fire! No.
There's a kettle down there.
Ghastly.
No, I was thinking it was a wick, dynamite. All right. What did you see?
I didn't get that close. I heard hissing. Something's moving. Or, was it an animal or a movement? Like
You just heard a hissing and you backed away immediately.
Yeah, that's not reasonable.
Could have been a snake.
Okay, is there enough reflected light from back there that I could see?
If everyone else moves down into the room, you'll have enough light to move closer and get a better idea.
Okay.
I'll give it a go.
Okay, make a stealth roll. So take 9 away from your stealth and roll.
Oh, blimey.
Ooh, dang.
Not a chance.
No?
Yep.
Okay, so you move closer, the hissing gets louder, and uncoiling from the hole, a gigantic black-scaled viper uncoils itself.
Why did it have to be snakes?
And stares at you with reptilian eyes and tastes the air with its tongue.
La, 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 la.
Well, I'm not going to Steve Irwin this thing because that's not going to go well.
Gurgle, gurgle.
Slowly back away with the short sword in, like defensive.
Yeah.
Do you do the guards and positions in this?
I don't generally bother. It's a needless complication, I think. Yeah. As you back away, the viper seems to relax slightly and half moves back into its hole, leaving its head sort of on the edge, sort of watching you all.
And that thing was big enough to do that burrowing, or do you reckon does it look like it went into something that was already there?
You think it did the burrowing?
Oy vey. Okay. There's a cheap and easy way of taking this out. I know I keep doing this, but could Molotov it?
You could.
Cook in the hole. So I'm ready to give that a go, and if people maybe want to be ready with missile weapons for as and when that doesn't work.
Alright. You have to kill this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just flinging some oil into the hole or the whole lantern?
Lamps are expensive, damn it.
Wait, so you want to take out the snake that's in the hole?
Yeah. It's
Yes.
quite a
Alright.
big one.
It's a what? Quite a big one?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go where I can get a good view of the hole.
Yeah, you can climb up onto a sort of bank of earth slightly to one side. The viper turns its head to look at you and slowly starts to rear up again.
Spitfire.
Right. So
I was going to lay oil.
I wanted to stay far enough where the viper couldn't attack me because I got a long range on mine.
Yep.
And if I can hit it.
If you roll d20, if you get 1 to 10, you hit it.
I got a 10 on the spot with 11 damage.
11 damage. All right, it's just burned to pieces
Vaporized.
immediately. It's just flambéed.
Say, now that's how you take care of a snake.
Excellent.
And if another head shows, you can deal with that one too.
Well, yeah.
Hopefully, there's not too many of those.
Right. So next to the hole, there's this this other hole in the wall that leads through to another chamber.
Okay. Let's go in there.
Yes, let us follow.
There's wooden pegs with the moth-eaten and mouldering remnants of what looks like ceremonial robes in purple and red. There's a skeleton sprawled on the floor, dressed in a maroon-coloured robe.
Does Ada recognise the... I don't know if it'd be a cult or...
She's peculiarly silent.
Oh, crap. Yeah. This might have been... Was this a friend of yours?
It was a pit, wasn't it?
No, I wasn't talking about the snake. I was talking about the person in the purple robe.
I don't know
Yeah.
who this was or what has happened here in the many years. I used to research the magics of the old empire. Someone else has been here.
Redecorated.
What about the cloak on the peg?
It crumbles into dust and scraps the moment you touch it. But beneath it is a small bronze key in a very, very simple design.
Some sort of key.
Has the corpse got any jewellery or anything on it, Jim?
There's a few old, highly corroded sort of cloak pins and things that are not really worth anything.
No rings or watches or anything?
No, they're all rusted and corroded to nothingness. Whatever was in here is long since mouldered and rotted. There is another door through to another section, however.
We should press on.
Okay. The next room is a long rectangular room, the roof supported by lines of exquisitely crafted marble pillars down its east and west side. There's a raised dais at the north end, which is where you came through, and there's an altar on it with a moulded sort of red velvet drape over it. The floors and walls are covered with intricate mosaics depicting scenes of war and slaughter and death. The whole room is covered with a thin layer of dust. On the floor, someone has painted a much cruder picture of fighting men battling against a hydra, which seems somewhat familiar.
Profits!
There's a polished bronze mirror with a silver frame hanging on the wall over the altar. And that doesn't seem to have been corrupted the same way that everything else has, which is a dead giveaway. There's a door on the opposite side of the dais, on the opposite side where you came out.
How big's the mirror, Jim?
It's sort of portrait-sized oval mirror, about the size of a shield.
Ask her if she knows anything about this mirror.
One sec. I never entirely cracked its secrets, but it is a somewhat wicked artifact that creates illusions to sow discord.
Ooh. So it's about the same size of the mirror as in Harry Potter then?
Yeah. Or Jason and the Argonauts.
I won't copy it for that.
It defied my attempts to fathom its true use, so if it was beyond me, I'm sure it's beyond you. I would leave it.
Thanks for the advice.
Or anything, we could just take it on the way out. Let's
You can
press
take it
on.
if you want.
Yeah.
Does it possibly sound like she's telling a fib so we don't require something good? Or
Half-truths again.
there's a lot of those?
Hmm.
Okay. I didn't actually make my assessment.
That's all right. I'll just give you that anyway. You're familiar with her, the way she talks now. So,
I could learn a lot from her.
Yeah. Perhaps you could cover it with a cloak or something, and then your able sorceress of your own company could perhaps fathom its use later.
Well, there was a robe. Oh no, that fell to bits, didn't it?
Yes.
On our bells and whistles, if we've got any spare. Half cape.
Just cover it with the bedroll.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Snug in its own sleeping bag. So there doesn't seem to be much of anything else here. It seems like this was a minor cult meeting room at one point. And your skeletal skull friend on the end of a stick was trying to fathom their magics and cults, which helps explain why it's in a relatively good state of repair. But since she passed, clearly other things have been happening.
So, what the tales of this place? There was an evil to defeat, or just a location of interest?
A location of interest, perhaps, that had been infested with evil. If there was a cult meeting here after your scully friend departed, then that would explain the stories, or perhaps it was just peasants being afraid of her when she was alive.
One well-cooked snake does not evil make.
No. But the only way onward is into the opposite side of the dais.
Sneak around, I guess.
Okay, so Madrock and Caesura at the front?
We've covered up the mirror, yeah?
Yep.
Nice.
Okay. So this is a smaller rectangular room running east-west. There's a small pool set into the stone floor in the centre of the room. And this is filled with some water covered with green sludge, algae, or something that's grown here. There's a large mosaic of a war god on the western wall, glaring menacingly at you as you enter the room. A voice booms out from that mosaic. So anyone who speaks the Latin equivalent, it demands that you halt immediately.
Stop. Everyone. Whatever that thing is telling us to stop. I speak Latin.
Is everyone stopping?
Mm-hmm.
And it was Caesura and Madrock who were at the front. Right. What's your evasion, both of you?
I'm looking around because my evasion is
Mine's 8.
5. In my case.
Okay, so 8 and 5. Okay. So when it bellows and Elaine says, halt! It takes you a moment to realise, and for it to be translated, so you've actually stumbled forward a couple of extra steps. There's a flare of magic, like right behind you, sort of singeing the hairs on the back of your neck. So anyone who displayed cowardice, or actually spoke Latin, would have ended up getting burned by that, whatever it was. But fortunately, you didn't understand the language, so...
At the risk of getting killed, I do speak it to an intermediate level.
Yeah. Well, even so, I think because you succeeded on your evasion, you're okay.
Let's not listen to talking things.
Sometimes listening to talking things is what we're supposed to do.
Well, stand there and say it again. Actually, it is worth checking. We know where that came out. Go through again and see if the same thing goes off.
Yeah, it does, but this time you're ready for it.
Okay, that's something we might be able to use.
Keep
There's
going.
something that's chasing us.
Okay, so you move in. 1 second. Sorry, I can't find the reference I need. Just give me a sec. Right. Edas speaks again. Stay away from the pool. There's a ghost, a spectre within it that I've been unable to get rid of. And it has no true physical form, so it should just be avoided. You'll find a secret door in the southern wall, in the very centre, opposite the pool.
Would pouring holy water into that exercise it, do you think? I'm asking people who actually know about this stuff. It's just a thought or more.
Holy stuff is outside the bounds of magic, but Brother Abbas, you probably think the water of the true faith would probably do the job.
Or would it piss us off and attack us?
Maybe.
At least it might suppress the spirit for a time.
Yeah, I am of the natural spirits, not of this holy divinity stuff. I do not understand it very well.
I could try using the chalice.
Yep.
Water with the chalice.
Fill it with water?
It
See
fills
if it-
itself with water, so...
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, you can pour some into the pool. The muck clears slightly, and some of the magical dark atmosphere in here fades a little.
Keep going.
It was a chapel full of undead before, so one helps as much as any other.
So, yes, she tells you again. There is a secret door in the southern wall, but I don't know who else has been here since I departed.
So check to see if it's been trapped then. Or more importantly, make sure the place is sound enough that it doesn't fall on us, because it doesn't have to be a trap.
Make perception rolls, Caesura and Madrock.
Any minuses?
Nope, just straight roll.
6.
3. Made it by 6.
I need the basic. Well,
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any traps, but there has been activity relatively recently. The secret door wouldn't have been that hard to spot for yourselves.
Okay. Can we find a mechanism?
Yeah, it's there's a small catch, and then it's very delicately balanced. So yeah, you can flip the catch and spin it around. There is a short corridor with soaking wet ancient plaster on the walls down both sides, and terracotta tiles along the floor, a couple of which are cracked. I know at the far end there's a pair of double doors.
Well, that doesn't look like it'll collapse at any moment. So I'll just go.
Okay, so who's going in front?
Your choice. Kara, sorry, it's so bad with names. I'm not beginning to see.
Caesura.
Not me.
Shall I take it?
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
You creep forward, creep forward, creep forward. Can you make a perception roll?
Not by a long shot.
Sorry,
Not
what? Sorry, what is your perception?
9, and I rolled a
Okay.
16.
Okay. Okay. So you sort of edge forward down the corridor with the light coming from behind you. As you approach the sort of midpoint in the corridor, you hear a creaking sound from behind the plaster on your left.
Then I don't worry about stealth. I back out before it falls on me.
Okay. You back away. It doesn't fall on you, but it does burst open. And a figure in banded armor and an ancient helm of corroded metal with a sort of horsehair brush on it sort of bundles forward out of the plaster in a big spray of dust and turns towards you. Right, so...
Oh, it's alive! Ah!
Yeah, sort of.
Probably isn't. Yeah.
Alright, it's unalive.
Right, it lumbers forward, bringing up a small shield on one side, and drives its dagger forward towards, well, short sword forward towards Madrock. Madrock's defense?
6. Oh, hang on, 8 because of the sword.
Okay. It stabs at you and misses. You sort of fall back amongst the others, sort of all of you retreating back to get a bit more space.
Sorry, 7 because of the sword, not 8.
Okay, still misses you.
Nice.
So, Sizora, everyone's sort of spilled back, and this undead thing is lumbering towards you.
So it's coming towards me now, rather than the Maddox.
Well, attack Madrock because he was in front, but you've all spilled back now. But it's your go, but you've fallen back, so you've got a bit of room.
Right. With me short sword and my goblin sword, get ready for a rumble.
Okay. So you're just getting ready for it to exit the corridor. Okay.
No, I'm waiting for it to come closer to me, and then I'm going to quiet.
Yeah. Elaine?
I've just charged it. Oh.
What weapon are you using?
The water sword.
Use that sword I got.
Okay. Make an attack at -12 for its defense.
Ooh, I wonder if it turns into holy water. That'd be badass. That gives me an idea.
18 plus 2 minus 12. No, I missed this time.
Missed. Okay, so you hurtle forward with the two-handed sword and sort of stab at it, but you can't get enough of a swing in the room that you've got, and it just bats the blade aside with its shield. Becca, Elaine's very much in the way, but what do you want to do?
Yeah, I laugh at him. And well, it's not like there's no room to. Oh, is there in here? No room to fight, really.
It's at the front of the corridor, but yeah, there's not a lot of room to swing and move.
Well, I'll get my sword out and reverse it.
Yep.
If I get the opportunity to stab, then I will.
Okay. Madrock.
Slashing as I retreat, I want to get around the corner so that it opens out so others.
Yeah. So you back out to one side as Elaine comes in the other, and you can get in a sneaky stab because you're nice and close. Okay, it's got no defense left, so just roll into your attack.
So rolled a 9, made it a 5.
Okay. And roll armor bypass.
8.
And roll damage.
10 maximum.
Okay. So Sword of Valandar you're using, yeah?
Yep, that's the only reason not.
Okay. The blade sort of sings and burns as it cuts into this undead creature, cleaving through its ancient bronze banded armour and into the undead flesh beneath, which burns and shrivels at the touch of the blade.
Ooh, that's handy.
The whole thing seems to start to rot, but it hasn't fallen quite yet.
Oh, yell out. Use the Valendar blades.
Yeah.
In case anyone isn't.
So, Kerridan.
All right. So, is there room to join the more melee?
There
folk,
isn't
or no?
really space to get in there yet. But you could cast a spell past your allies, provided it's not fire.
Yeah, nobody here. Yeah, I was gonna say nobody here is currently wounded, right?
No.
No.
All right, then no. I will just hold my. I'll pull out my +2 sword and wait.
Yep. Abbas?
How far away did you say it was? Sorry.
It's right just inside the entrance of the corridor, but Elaine and Madrock are very much in the way.
I'll ready my spear then.
Okay. Actually, with reach, you could probably get a stab in on the other side.
Okay, give it a try.
Okay, just under your attack.
A 3, yes, that's a hit.
Okay.
Armor bypass, yeah.
Yep, armor bypass.
6
And damage.
damage. 10.
Okay, that's enough. Right, you come in around the side just as it's sort of readying itself to charge forward and barge Elaine back into the room, and it kind of runs straight into your spear at eye level, and just crumbles into pieces under the stroke. Right, beyond this undead creature, and again your skull friend is being rather quiet. And past that last door, there's a small treasury. And she says, at least some things are still intact. There's nothing else to worry about here, so you can go through what there is. There's a golden cup that fills with wine when you pick it up.
Hey, that's my kind of treasure.
Nice.
But only once. There's an old Celentine Empire style short sword of bronze,
Max.
which seems like magic. There's a purse with a single ancient Celentine Empire gold coin in it.
Does it seem mystical in some manner? Let's go ahead and cast a. Shall we cast a spell to look at the ors? To make sure
Yeah, you might as well.
Yeah, might as well. Go ahead and do it.
Yeah, the purse is magical.
All right, so take the coin out, close the purse, open it back up, and see if there's anything in it.
No, it's empty.
So perhaps.
However, later when you get back to the inn and you check the purse, there's a gold coin in it, but the one that you took out you can't find anywhere.
Interesting. You can pay for something and it disappears.
And it comes back later.
There's an old, crude, corroded set of bronze plate armor, which isn't actually magical and is pretty useless. And there's a magical tome, leather bound and covered in occult sigils.
Did that short sword come with a scarab, or was it on its own?
It did come with a scabbard, but the scabbard long since rotted away.
Right, okay. I'll just take the sword then.
The book appears to be Edas's Book of Shadows, grimoire, but it's been added to by someone called Scrimkin. So there's a whole bunch of different spell notes and things in it.
Well, that goes to the sorcerer, I guess.
So I think that's everything. So yeah, I'm sorry that was a bit of a rush, but it was good to get the whole thing done. Which means next time you'll be confronting Duke Darien, the ruler of this horrendous land. So the idea will be to do that Tuesday.
Yeah.
So same usual thing. Let me know as soon as possible if you're free on the Facebook group.
I won't be.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's all right. I'm sure you'll watch. Yeah, and then we're done. So yeah, sorry for keeping you all up a bit later tonight, but that's the forest dealt with. I'll update your character sheets. Does
What are you
anyone
talking about? It's early for me. It
Yeah,
just started.
Yeah, true.
Shut up, you filthy yank. Does anyone want to do anything in particular in downtime, or have you got any particular thoughts?
I actually want to look into what this sword is.
Yeah.
I will look into my sword as well.
Jack, that sword's giving me an idea for a sword in my campaign. So I'm going to have a sword that does no damage to normal people. But if you're undead or you're something that can be affected by holy water, when you swing this, when you activate the sword, it turns into a sword of water like he had, and it's gonna be holy water. And she's just slapping things with holy water.
Cool.
It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be great.
Cool. Right.
Turns into a feather duster.
Right. I need to get some rest. So thanks all for playing. Thanks anyone who watched. And yeah, I'll see some of you Tuesday.
See you guys next time. Probably a Saturday.
Yeah. So it's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday is what I'm doing at the moment. At least while I can keep it up.
So who's keeping the purse with the one coin?
That sounds like a knave thing to me.
A knave?
It's a bit of a dirty trick even for me, but it's that or the wine cup.
It's like, I shall pay for everything.
Whilst
that deserve it.
Whilst we're taking everything that's not bolted down, what about the mirror?
Oh, is it magical too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I say grab it when we leave.
Let's try to take the mirror. We'll install it at the castle at home. Maybe it's a mystical. I will spend downtime trying to discover what the mirror does.
Okay.
Watch it be a mirror of scrying or something. That'd be awesome.
No, very role play heavy item from the description that he just said.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Anyway, I gotta go. See you all later. Thanks again.
Later.
Take care.
What a heavy items.